Well, friends. Hey, welcome. How are you? Another one of our Slant Alpha adventures getting underway, and it's good to be back after kind of an 8-day hiatus. Coming at you live from Studio 5 just outside of Ocean City, Maryland. And yeah, the nice thing about living in a beach resort town is when vacation happens, it tends to come to you. So I had my parents come up into town, and then my sister and her husband, and my niece and nephew came down. So they were all staying in town. My wife and I, of course, lived just outside of it. And yeah, so we really kind of just, my wife and I just both took half days off of work all week. And then they were in town, you know, for the entire week, more or less. And had a nice relaxing week. The mornings, you know, we kind of got some things done that we needed to get done while they did their beachy things and stuff with the kids that we didn't really feel that we needed to be involved in. And then during the afternoon and evening, we had a nice mix. For part of it, we had extended family get-togethers, did things with them as a big group of 8 of us, and even more. In one instance, my brother-in-law's mother and stepfather and grandmother were down, so wound up being even a bigger group for one gathering. We had my parents had some long-standing family friends in town also, so you know, it wound up being 10 of us for that gathering as well. But so some days we did that, and other days my family had other things that they had planned to do, other activities, visiting other friends and such, and some other kids' activities. And on those days, my wife and I kind of just kept our half day and had a little staycation day. So good, like I said, good mixture of activity versus relaxing time this past week. And I did end up getting a little sick toward the end of it. So I'm a little beat down today, and if you hear that I'm a little bit more out of breath than I usually am, and a little bit more rundown than I often am, that's what's going on there. I debated even doing this flight off stream, but decided, since it had been 9 days almost since I had streamed for you last, that it would be good for me to go ahead and get in here and be a part of this. But I wouldn't miss it in terms of the event. If I can at all help it. It is the 6th anniversary of our Virtual USA Flying Club. The club was formed 6 years ago yesterday, and today we're doing our annual fly-in to what we've kind of adopted as the official home airport of the Virtual USA Flying Club, which is known as Bayport Aerodrome. It's a tiny little community grass strip that is immediately south of Long Island MacArthur Islip Airport, and I probably said those names in the wrong order, but the airport there at Islip, variously known as Long Island MacArthur Airport. Right there on Long Island, just east of Kennedy, just east of Republic, and then just south of that airport is where Bayport Aerodrome is, a little grass strip. They have a lot of antique aircraft that are based there, and they have a special procedure to get in and out of that airstrip because it's so close to MacArthur. And they have a tiny little keyhole cutout in the Class Charlie airspace there, so that if you follow the procedure precisely, you avoid needing to talk to air traffic control. And that's vitally important because a lot of the antique aircraft that are based at that airport don't have radios. So they really don't have a way to communicate with air traffic control and get a Charlie clearance. Not a Charlie clearance per se, but permission to enter the Charlie, I would say. Two-way communication, which would allow them permission to enter the Charlie. So they stay below the Charlie. In this outer shelf, they stay at 1400 or below, typically. And then this little keyhole, they stay at, they say 700 or below. But really, they have to be below 700, because if they're at 700, they're in this Charlie airspace. If we're at 1500, we're in this Charlie airspace. So I typically do 1400 here in this outer shelf, and then 600 once we get into the keyhole. But yeah, this is a neat little place, and there's a special procedure, as I said, for flying the entry there. They don't do patterns. You cannot do continuous closed circuits at this airport. It's not allowed. They have a very specific entry procedure, and for us, we're landing on runway 18 today because that's what the winds are favoring. And the way they work this is you enter in over this little marina, and it's called Browns River, and the series of lakes called the Sans Souci lakes, and paralleling the river and the lakes, you end up on kind of a right downwind. and then you make a very tight turn to right base and a tight turn to right final, right turn from right base to final, that is. Right final, duh. You know what I meant. And then they're very adamant. Do not pass Sunrise Highway, and it's a pretty visible highway there. And if you pass Sunrise Highway, well, then you're in this surface area of the Class Charlie airspace, and you don't want to be in that because you're going to get run over by a jet. So then on the departure, it's pretty much straight out. And as long as the inbound planes stay over the river and the lakes, and the outbounds go straight out, they're not in conflict with one another. And so that's how they work that. So that's going to be the procedure for today. We are departing from Nantucket Island. So we're way up here to the north and east. Oh, that's Block Island. We're way up here to the north and east, even further than that. Matter of fact, if we go under flight plan, we can type KACK. We'll go 23 November. If we're going to do it in a straight line, and we are going to do this leg VFR, if we were going to do it in a straight line, it'd be a 273 bearing for 139 miles. But since we are going to fly this pretty much visually, you know, we're going to and we're in a single engine piston, so we're going to try and kind of hug coastline and be over open water for as little of this as we can be. Of course, we're still going to be unavoidable for certain parts of it, but really just kind of stay close and hug the coastline as best as we can. So there we go. We'll hug the south shore of Long Island. And then in order for us to make sure that we're turning in over the correct marina, I figured out that if we tune in the Calverton VOR, Charlie, 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 we tune the radial to a 225, and a distance of 19 miles, that'll put us basically at the point where we then need to turn in toward the marina. So that'll be kind of an extra guideline that we can use. I'm not going to navigate that radial, because that would require us coming in to the VOR and then going outbound on it, which would be silly, and plus we would clip that Charlie airspace and we'd be flying all over these other airport patterns as well. So we're not going to do that, but we're just going to use that radial and distance, and as it kind of comes in from the side, once it centers, we'll know, oh, that's our cue, turn in and find that marina. So that's going to give us about 148 mile total distance for this first leg. What did I put into my planning spreadsheet? 148.1. This plotted to 148.5, but that's close enough for slant alpha work. So yeah, that's the plan. There's Nantucket. We're parked up here at the terminal, and there we are. Now, flying into this event are at least 30 and maybe even more members of the Virtual USA Flying Club. Now, we're flying into the airport during a 6-hour window, so they won't all be arriving at the same time that we are, but we do see that there's a good amount of GA traffic, and many of them are call signs that we do recognize indeed from the club. So there's JetPilotCinnamon, 124 Mike Charlie. A lot of folks like to do the Skyline route up and down the Hudson River, right alongside of Manhattan. We're going to do that on our second leg. A lot of these GA, you can see a lot of these GA planes you could guess are going to 23 November, and that's Bayport Aerodrome. Oh, Mike forgot to file. Our club founder not representing via his flight plan right now. Whoops. There's 23 November is the destination there. I thought that I saw 11816 around. That's our friend Melvin Leroy. He might have spawned in at, because that's at the 23 November. Somebody at Islip, maybe one of ours. Oh, there's November 11816. He may actually be at 23 November, just registering that he's at Islip just because of position inaccuracy. That one didn't file, but I recognize that name from the Virtual USA Flying Club Discord, leaving from Block Island. This one here I know is going to 23 November, another club member there. Going to, that's our friend Eric Flight, going to 23 November from there. And then two of us going here from Nantucket. So quite a few of us, filed to 23 November as well. So quite a few of us heading in to Bayport Aerodrome at the same time that we are. So it should be a fun, exciting time once we get in that pattern there. Kermani CHLT says, hello, ELW is here. Says, I'm going to jump on today at Nantucket as well. Kermani says, how much time do you expect for both legs to take? Already 11 p.m. Hopefully I can watch the whole stream. Yes, but I think both legs We're scheduled to touch down. Leg number 2, we're going to go into Schenectady, New York. So we'll go up the skyline northbound. My anticipated arrival time there is 8 Eastern time, which will be midnight Zulu time. So for 4 hours from now. That might be a little late for you, but happy to have you along for as much of it as possible. Since we've gone over the plan, let's go ahead and get into the airplane and get going. I'm going to go ahead and start by opening the windows and doors. The A2A simulations, Piper Comanche, the airplane of choice for many of us flying into this thing today. We're going to have a whole tribe of Comanches at this airport today. Doors and windows open. Control lock is already off, it looks like. Fuel valves can go to mains, and we'll start our walk around. Alright, we're first going to make sure that this flap doesn't have too much play. Probably just the first leg, Kermany, that's fine, yeah, understandable. Doesn't have too much play, and it does kind of wiggle quite a bit here. So we'll just have to hope that that linkage holds up, but it doesn't rubber catch in between positions anywhere, so hopefully that will be fine. The flap should move freely, doesn't rubber catch anywhere. We're not going to put anything in the tip tanks today. The lights we're going to check on the second go around. We're going to take down the tie down. This is our right-hand fuel tank. We are going to go ahead and fill this up to 29 out of 30 gallons. We're going to take a total of 58 gallons for the 2 legs today. So we'll go ahead and get that filled up to 29. And we should see that it is nearly full and the correct color for the type of fuel that we've put in it, or asked to be put in it by the line person. And so that's now done. And we'll continue on around the aircraft. Wheel chocks can be taken out of the way. We're going to do a quick sampling of that fuel and make sure 2 things. Number 1, that it is immediately blue, that we don't see water collected in the bottom of that tank. If we did see that, we would continue to pull fluid out of there until the water was done draining and we were able to see fuel. But since we do see fuel right away, that's a good sign, and we don't see any kind of contamination, any kind of dirt or other foreign objects in that fuel. So we're good there. Everything looks good. No obstructions in the air intake, and the prop appears undamaged. Here's the oil dipstick. We can pull that and make sure that it sits just above 9. At cold and dark, it's right there at 9, and it's a nice light tan color, meaning that it's good quality oil. So quality and quantity of oil is checked and good to go. Yeah, it's the A2A walk around, still better than the stock. Yeah, indeed. And this is, of course, flights in 2020 here. I have not upgraded to 2024 just yet. Waiting until all of my hangar is operable in the new sim, and that, who knows, I'm not in a rush. Our left-hand fuel tank, same thing. We're going to fill it up to 29 and make sure that it looks nearly full and it's the correct color. We continue. Wheel chocks. We got a tie down and a pitot cover. Again, lights will get on the second pass. Nothing in the tip tanks. Aileron once again should move freely. And flap again should not move freely and shouldn't rubber catch in between positions. Okay, all good there. No obstruction to the static port. The horizontal, tie down comes down. Horizontal surface should move freely. Vertical surface should move not as freely. Good there. No static port obstruction. And we're going to spend the night in Schenectady. We'll take our toolkit as we always do, plus my duffel bag, plus my small suitcase, but that'll be it. Nobody else traveling with us today, so that'll be it. For the second pass, we get the battery on and all of the lights on, and we'll just do a second quick run around here. To see the green nav light is lit. We can see the strobe flashing from pretty much every position. Right side landing light very obviously is working. We keep going, we keep going, we keep going. Left side landing light's coming up. Yep, that's working as well. Red nav light is illuminated, and then the last thing we want to make sure is that the beacon up top of the plane is spinning and is also illuminated. So we're good. We can turn strobe and landing lights off, and we can hop into the aircraft. We'll take away that left side yoke just so we can see across the bottom here. None of the circuit breakers are popped, and then we can, of course, close and latch that door. I'm going to take the throttle and mix full forward, and we're going to run the fuel pump for just a few moments. We'll see the fuel pressure will come up. By the way, we can get rid of the tab. We're done with the walk around. Fuel pressure will come up to about a reading of 5, and when it does so, we can go ahead and pull that primer. It's a fairly warm day here, so maybe we'll pull it only about 3 times. And then we'll lock that primer. We'll switch the mags to right, then left, then both. We'll give our clear call. Windows are open. Clear, 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 clear. Throttle can come back down. And we'll slowly advance the throttle as we let the thing crank. Okay, disengage the starter. Throttle back down to 1,000. And oil pressure came up right away. Fuel pressure, as we turn the fuel pump off, we should see that fuel pressure remains. The engine is supplying its own fuel pressure now. So that backup electric pump can be shut off, and then we'll close the windows so that we don't have to shout over it. Avionics. COM1 nav1, COM2 nav2. Transponder is in altitude mode, squawking 1200. And ADF radio, and I don't ever bother with the engine monitor, so you'll notice it'll flash red at me the entire time that we're here. No worries, I don't care. We do have VATSIM air traffic control throughout this region, and looks like, so we've got no local control here. I'm going to check in. Yeah, it looks like we would be outside of this controller's airspace. There's a second area of Boston Approach. Used to be called Cape Approach. Now it's all part of Boston Approach, Boston TRACON. But I don't think this controller inherits that area when that TRACON isn't there. So this portion of the TRACON isn't there. So I think that would end up being Boston Center. And that is going to be... Doesn't... Yeah, we got... Evan, and is given Flight Sim Expo advertisement there. But it doesn't really say which one of them is covering the north sector and which one of them is covering the south sector. So we'll check in with Evan first on 2375. Actually, you know what we can do? Let's see if we can see what frequency these other guys are on. He's on 3345. He's on 3345. Okay, so that's probably our best bet. If those two guys are on 33.45, then that's a good bet that that's the frequency we should be on, which is this first Boston Center, 133.45. Okay, so that'll be a good guess as to which frequency we should be on. And we'll go ahead and swap that in. And if he tells us we should be on something else, that's fine. We'll deal with that when it comes. But we'll also be monitoring guard on the second frequency, on the second radio. It's a little loud in my ear. I'm going to turn it down, but I think.
All right, that's runway 24 Echo, and then across runway 15. Could I get flight final, or are you busy?
Sure. For flight following squawk 1350.
Hey, squawk 1350, 6 Bravo. Sorry, 9 Mike Whiskey.
Okay.
What altitude are you going to be cruising at?
4,500.
We can do a ETAR at KACK 210 at 13.
Just want to verify you were doing
2988
to Nantucket, correct?
Hey, firm, I'm going VFR flight following as well.
2988.
17. Flight following squawk 5366.
Is there.
Field
elevation at Nantucket.
Squawk 5366, 24 Alpha across the street.
Oh, that's 29 or 9 or 8. Let's go to 29 or 88. Field elevation at Nantucket is 47. Okay, yeah, that's a little. That's why you do that sanity check. So when you set it to the reported altimeter setting for the field, you should be sitting at the field, which is just less than 50 feet, and that is indeed what's on the chart. So when it was 100 feet high, I was like, that's interesting. Realized it was my error there, so it's a good cross check to make. We are facing, looks like a 058. So I'm going to flip this around so that it reads accordingly. It is 133.45. Yeah, that's what it seemed like based on what the people around us were also tuned.
Flight level 190.
719, flight 19.
There's that. Wind is 210, so we'll probably depart runway 24. So I'll set the arrow to that just as a sanity check in terms of which way we should be taxiing and departing. 239er, so I'll actually click the arrow one down. And then what's our on-course heading? If we're going to initially be looking to join the shoreline of Martha's Vineyard, then I guess we'll be looking for about a 300 on the climb out. And then I was going to cruise at 2,500, but then that means we would have to get permission to transit through that delta.
Okay, well, there's on short Q4
We'd have, well, we'd be above that delta, but we need to get permission to transit that delta. So we might go a little higher. We might go 3,000.
Let's take up on course.
Yeah, let's go 3,000. That way we don't have to worry about that.
Exit 93, flight heading 090, vector for descent.
290 for descent.
So plan for 3,000, and then our on-course heading for our very first leg is, like I said, it's a 300. Plus or minus. So that'll be set there.
Flight 93, do you want us to put our approach request in with you, or when we get handed off to New York?
No, I wouldn't do.
Oh, you know what I didn't do?
Roger.
I'll do it now. But I should have leaned out the mix right to the point where the RPM start to drop. That way we're not running super rich and accumulating all kinds of carbon deposits on our spark plug tips. But we'll do a run up when we get to the end of the runway, and we'll make sure we clear all those deposits off before we go. Alright, let's do a couple real quick ramp checks before we roll. And then we already checked the control surfaces from the outside, but we'll make sure that they move as commanded from the inside. Can't really see the rudder from this position, but
what's the call sign, Omen?
Put somebody out back to make sure that it works. And we do have our flight, our life preserver on board, since we are going to be flying some of this over open water.
I think we're
we got the
center, climb maintain hold 270.
270.
flap set for departure, and then the trim set for departure.
For next time, the correct ICO code is Sierra India Alpha.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Delta 29 Papa, descend by the Roebuck Ferry arrival, runway 27.
And then minimum departure fuel for the first leg is 32 gallons, so we should be good to go here since we're fueled for both. We got almost that in one tank, so plenty good for minimum departure. So brake check on the way out, and a run up at the end, and then we'll be ready to go. So if we get taxi instructions, we'll expect that it's going to be just
maintain 3 further knots or greater, published speeds outside.
Foxtrot, Golf, cross 15, and then Kilo.
And about 3 further knots or greater, then published speeds,
Southwest 3102, descend by the Roebuck 3 arrival, runway 27, Boston altimeter 29700.
Okay, descend Roebuck 3, runway 27, Southwest 202.
Exit 93, descend and maintain 1000, the Providence altimeter 2983.
283 down to 11, plus 93.
Center Comanche 514 Delta Victor's at Nantucket with the weather, VFR departure southwestbound.
Your 514 Delta Victor, Boston Center, runway 24, taxi via Echo, cross runway 15.
24 via Echo, cross 15, 514 Delta Victor. Alright, he wants us on Echo. Well, I guess that means we'll cross over Foxtrot here and go to Echo.
2039 Boston Center, climb maintain level 370.
Do a quick brake check. Brakes are good.
2039.
Good afternoon, Boston United 641 with you 370, correction 270.
Raptor 1, descend and maintain for level 280.
Okay, there we are, entering Echo. did tell us cross 15.
Raptor 1, Boston Center.
Go ahead.
Papa Charlie hitting
After
the
5
5-month
years,
mark.
I suppose it is time to tell my wife about us.
Well, I don't know. Be
Raptor
careful
1,
with
amendment
that.
to your route. You're now clear direct
I don't want her
Albany, Alpha
showing up at
Lima
my
Bravo,
doorstep, man,
then
so be
join the
careful.
Flossie for arrival.
Thank you very kindly, Papa Charlie, for the continued support of the channel. Guys, it's all the subscriptions and the gift subs and the donations and the cheer bits that keep our monthly drawings going. We haven't had a chance to talk about the monthly drawings just yet.
Short runway 24 Nantucket.
But
I will
Raptor 1, descend and maintain level 280.
go over those soon.
You said 282?
Papa Charlie, thank you for the continued support of the channel, helping us keep
maintain level
all that fun stuff going and
280.
keep the channel fun and exciting.
Boston United 641 with you level 270.
Alright, we are going to be number 2 for departure here. I did hear the aircraft in front of us check in.
641 Boston Center, descend and maintain
Seemed a
level
familiar
280,
voice as well.
30.
But since we're going to have just a
230
moment,
United 641.
Flight shed 93, descend and maintain 8,000.
2093.
we'll go ahead and run up here. I'm going to, it's at 2,000. We still have the mixed lean for right now. This with the mixed lean doing this will help us burn off any excess carbon deposits that built up on the plug tips. But we'll flex the prop lever down and back up a few times.
6 Officer Boston Center, Roger. And your mic has a lot of background noise. It's very difficult to read. Break number 419er Mike Whiskey, wind 22013. Proceed on course, runway 24, clear for takeoff.
Yeah, clear for takeoff on runway 24 with a proceed on course on
Back to Rich.
Okay, 117. I didn't give it to you, but
RP
your
check.
radar contact maintain VFR.
Left mag check. We see 100 RPM drop and back. Right mag check. 100 RPM drop and back. Okay, so we're good.
Center, 423
We
Charlie
didn't,
Lima. At Nantucket Municipal for a VFR flight to the southwest. Boston Center.
Number 423 Charlie Lima, Boston Center, runway 24. Taxi by Echo, cross runway 15.
all right.
Taxi by Echo, cross runway 15. 423 Charlie Lima.
So our friend has departed. We got another friend
Boston Hello, Care 31.
taxiing out behind us.
Far from Bradley, we have Charlie.
Care 3126 coming with Boston Center 123.75.
2375.
Delta 29er Papa, contact Boston approach 133.0.
And so we'll just see if we can get a word in. I am not going to ask for flight following. He sounds like he's plenty busy. So
Raptor 1, contact Boston Center.
we'll monitor his frequency, but
Fokker 872, contact Boston Center 123.75.
13.75, walk rate 32.
Boston Center, Kilo 17, I'd like to shoot a visual with the 24 if you'd like.
and
Care 117, are you familiar with third point?
No, but I'm familiar with Nantucket geography. Could you explain it?
It's the third island. It's what the locals call third point.
I already passed that.
Okay, enter a 3-mile right base runway 24, report the base.
2 mile right base 24, report be safe, one.
that's at a 4 Delta Victor's at Nantucket 24 ready.
Number 514 Delta Victor, wind 22013, proceed on course, runway 24, clear for takeoff.
All right, clear for takeoff, runway 24 on course, 514 Delta Victor. Okay, strobes.
419er Mike Whiskey, radar contact 2 miles southwest.
Landing lights,
Nantucket
pitot
Airport,
heat,
maintain
and
VFR.
Maintain
Fuel pump.
VFR on none Mike Whiskey.
all right, there we are, lined up. Takeoff power's coming at you.
Wish 2311 heavy with you 1.0.
Push at 2311 Boston.
Okay, airspeed's alive.
Flight level, let's see, 290 for now, please.
We're at 80.
290, wish 2311 heavy.
Lift off. As soon as we're sure that we're not going to need to return to that pavement, we'll pull gear in. Seems reasonable. Assume now we're already at 100. Pull the flaps in. We can shut the fuel pump off.
Or 419 Mike Whiskey, what direction did you say you were going?
I was going to be going southwest.
So we're going northwest now, and you're conflicting with inbound traffic.
Alright, I'll go south. I'll go south more. None of my whiskey.
Alright.
United A1 Delta, contact Boston Center, 123.75, good day.
2375, United A1 Delta.
24 and 24 in the climb.
Douglas 3102, contact Boston approach 133.0.
Okay, over to Boston approach 33.0, southwest 312.
Section 93, clear direct East Hampton.
Check East Hampton, pushing active.
And turning toward the shore of Martha's Vineyard just to stay as close to shoreline as we can.
Boston Center, flare 803, 11,000 for 14,000 up out of
24, 24.
Flare 803 Boston Center, climb maintain, flight level 350.
Up to 350, flare
And heading to 3,000.
Wish of 2311, climb maintain.
We got
flight
follows
level
there.
350.
A la 12471. And Discreet Gaming at the follow button
Alpha
there.
Sierra, clear direct
as well.
Providence, Papa Victor Delta.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the follows. Glad you could join us. This is not our normal show schedule. We're typically on Tuesday nights and Friday nights at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. I've got a special celebration today with the virtual USA Flying Club. Just took off from Nantucket Island up here in eastern Massachusetts. We're headed down the south shore of Long Island to Bayport Aerodrome. Little grass strip just outside of Long Island Islip.
297 Roebuck 34, 27641.
Gonna head up to 3,000 feet. Make sure we're above the delta at Martha's Vineyard.
Boston Center, 423 Charlie Lima, holding short, runway 24, Boston Center.
24.
Number 423 Charlie Lima, hold short, runway 24, landing traffic.
24 and 24.
423 Charlie Lima.
And got airborne.
I think I heard you on Christmas this morning, or maybe an hour or two.
Got airborne just about 20 till the hour. All right, 24 and 24. We'll level it off.
311, clear direct Tusky.
Level it off at 3,000. We'll pull the power back. And as the speed picks up, we're going to have to continue to add down trim. I tend to overshoot altitudes in this aircraft pretty badly because once it levels off, it picks up speed. As it picks up speed, it picks up lift. And if you're not really assertive about adding that continuous down trim until you reach that stable speed, this plane will just continue to climb, climb, climb. Alright, so RPM's coming to 22. Manifold coming to 22.
Delta 1997. Checking in, flight level 340.
Delta 1997, Boston Center, load.
That is correct. News at 270.
Okay, well, that's 7 off it.
And then we're going to slowly get the mix leaned out to about 14 gallons an hour. That's what I like to use in this aircraft is 22 on the manifold, 2200 on the RPMs, 14 gallons an hour.
Canada 612 Boston Center, radar contact, maintain level 330.
Trimmed out to a nice steady 3,000.
Number 423 Charlie Lima, wind 220 at 13, proceed on course, runway 24 cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, 423 Charlie Lima.
Alright, now as we get a little closer in, looks like our next frequency would be person around Kennedy, so that's going to be 25.7. Somebody that I happen to know. Get that tuned in.
Bayport 2333, contact Moncton Center 132.2.
How do you figure the fuel for the distance you have to travel, Keyman? So I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel that talks about flight time and fuel estimates if you want to pull that up. The YouTube link is on the lower, well, just was, it'll come back in a moment. YouTube link on the lower left-hand side of the screen. There's a playlist there called VATSIM Tutorials, and you'll look for one called Flight Time and Fuel Estimates. But in short, you know the cruise speed of your aircraft, you know the distance that you have to go. So with those two figures, you can figure out what the flight time is, and then if you know about how many gallons per hour your aircraft burns, which in this case we know that it's 14 gallons per hour, you can multiply out the expected time versus the expected fuel burn per hour to get a total fuel burn for the trip. To that you want to add, you know, an appropriate amount for alternates, reserves, and contingencies, of course. You don't want to carry just the amount that's going to get you exactly from your origin to exactly to your destination. So you do need to add a factor over top of that, but that should be a relatively reliable estimate for the amount that you're going to burn, and then just plan to have some extra when you touch down. So that's the short version, but the long version, more detailed version, is over on my YouTube channel with that playlist called VATSIM Tutorials. But it does require that you kind of know what your typical fuel flow for your aircraft is. Now, some people will tell you that you calculate higher fuel flow for the climb, a cruise fuel flow, and then a lower fuel flow for the descent. For quick and dirty numbers, however, if you know the average fuel flow for the aircraft, you just know that over the distance of your flight, it's going to burn a little more than that in the initial part of the flight. It's going to burn a little less than that toward the end of your flight. But the average amount will be usually good enough to get you in the ballpark. Then the other thing you can do, Keyman, is know how much you're loading into the beginning of your trip. Check how much you're left with at the end of your trip. Compare that to what you thought you were going to burn, and then you can adjust what you have in your calculation for the fuel burn accordingly. So if you're consistently burning more than you think you should be, well then whatever your number you're using for how many gallons per hour we burn, well you better just up that a little bit, right? So that if you're diligent about checking after each flight and adjusting your fuel burn accordingly, then the more flights you do, the more accurate your predictions will get.
1997, descend and maintain flight level 230, maintain 300 knots or less.
230 knots or less.
Alright, let's go and let's check on our progress here. We're doing this all visually today. But I'm going to take all these guide points away. We're just going to plot KACK and 23 November. We can pretty much see that we're over top of the eastern tip of Nantucket Island right now. So let's just add that GPS point in. We know we're about right there. Just choose the GPS point. And so now we can see we're 120 miles from our destination on that bearing. And we'll keep doing that as we go, and then that'll just kind of give us an updated distance as we that'll give us an updated distance as we continue to progress. Okay, can we get a prediction for fuel burn? Yeah. So Kermani, we always do the prediction for the touchdown touchdown rate in terms of feet per minute, but I always say at the end of each flight, the first thing we do is we check my predictions, which are the timing and the fuel estimates, and we'll check those numbers just for my own edification, and then we check on your predictions to see who wins an entry into our monthly raffle. I did say I was going to talk about our monthly raffles for those of you who are new to the channel, and we talked about Papa Charlie's resubscription earlier, is generous support of the channel. So the money that comes into the stream, guys, this isn't something that I put into my pocket. I don't do this for a living. I don't do this for a side hustle. The money that comes into the stream, really, it comes back to you in terms of the monthly giveaways that we do. So we do 2 drawings on the channel. We do 2 bi-monthly drawings, and we alternate them. So toward the end of every month, we're doing one of those 2 drawings. All right, drawing number 1 is our Alphabets raffle drawing. That's the one that you can enter with the Alphabets points, which is what we call our Twitch channel points here. Our points there at the bottom of the chat panel. You've got the Alphabets serial icon that represents those points, and the button next to that tells you how many you have. If you click on that button, it'll give you the option to redeem 2,000 at a time for 1 entry into our Alphabets raffle. If you save up and do 10,000 at a time, that'll get you 6 for the price of 5. So 6. So yeah, 2,000 for 1 entry, 10,000 for 6 entries, and that's how you enter the Alphabets raffle, which we typically pull toward the end of the odd-numbered months. The landing rate raffle is something that you can try to enter at the conclusion of each flight that we perform on the network. When we get close to the airport, when we get established on the approach or in the pattern for our destination, we'll let you know to start putting some predictions in terms of the feet per minute at descent at the moment the wheels touch the runway surface. And of course we know that that's not the arbiter of what a good or a bad landing is, but that's just a number that you predict. Meanwhile, I'm trying to perform a solid landing in terms of the alignment, in terms of the speed, in terms of being in the touchdown zone, the proper configuration and proper flare attitude. But whatever the descent per rate in terms of feet per minute happens to be at the moment the wheels touch runway surface, you put your prediction in, and whoever's closest gets an automatic entry for our landing rate raffle. And that's the one that we pull toward the end of the even-numbered months, typically. You don't have to be here when we do those drawings.
2860 is 12,500 for 14.
But when we do, this is what you're playing for. Any one of our Slant Alpha merch items, a t-shirt, ball cap, mouse pad, coffee mug, or tote bag. And if you choose one of those, I'll ship it to you at my own expense. This is truly free for you to participate in all the way around. If you don't want any of that stuff, you got electronic gift cards you can choose instead, and the choices there are Amazon or xplane.org store or simmarket.com. Mustafa is here. Hey, Moose, what's going on, sir? Where did you depart from, asks Moose. Yeah, we've departed from Nantucket Island. We're just over top of Martha's Vineyard right now as we progress south. And then, west and then southwest. Kind of almost northwestish right now. And then southwest past Block Island and then down along the south shore of Long Island, headed into Bayport Aerodrome. Eisenberg is with us as well.
Condor 2039er, Condor. This is Boston Center. How do you read?
Please repeat for Condor 2039er.
Condor 2039er. Been trying to reach you for about 10 minutes now. I need you to contact Moncton Center 132.2.
Monitor Moncton Center on 12.
You didn't say monitor, you said contact. So we're going to hit.
Yes. Please contact them, don't monitor.
Squibnocket Point here on the southwestern tip of Martha's Vineyard.
Number 233 Charlie Alpha, Portland altimeter 2976, harbor visual 29er spin in use.
So where do we go from here? Again, trying to minimize the amount of open water we're flying over. Although we really can't help it during this leg here. But off of Squibnocket Point, if we do a straight 270, 37 miles, that should put us right onto Block Island. So before I do that, let's double check. So if I'm flying at wings level, we're about a 255 right now. It looks like our gyro has processed just a little bit, but We'll get it back
1997 descend by the Roseback 3 arrival, runway 27, accept maintain.
and sync there.
Spot sound altimeter 29er, 79er.
Simply the Roseback 3 arrival. Sorry, could you say speed again for 1997?
Maybe we're closer to a 2.
It's going to be a descend by accept maintain.
Closer to a 260, so maybe about there.
Copy the
And then our
for 1997.
goal as we pass this is to fly a 270, and then that's going to be 37 miles. We know that at 150 miles an hour, 150 knots, 37 miles. Well, there's two ways we can do that, right? So at 150 knots, we're traveling 2.5 miles per minute. You know, I know the gauge says 160, but first of all, that's in miles an hour. We're really doing 170 miles an hour or so because we're at 3,000 feet.
Just want to clarify, do you want us to start flying the published at Crane or just 310 until we're slowed by approach?
It's going to be resume published speed at Pro V.
Okay, resume publish at Pro V and 310 on the way down. Thank you. Brickyard 5848.
Switch 4 Yankee lost in center, go ahead.
So 37 miles, 2.5 miles per minute. So if we do,
Switch 4 Yankee, roger, climb maintain, flight level
what,
3,
15 minutes, then 15 times 2 is 30, and then 15 times a half is 7.5, so that'll be 37. So 15 minutes is that 37 miles. So it's 4:55 Eastern Time now, so at 5:10 Eastern Time, we should be passing by this spot on Block Island. So that's one way to do it. The other way should arrive at the same, it basically is the same arithmetic in different order. Should arrive at the same result though. We'll go 37 miles, 37 nautical miles divided by 150 nautical miles per hour. So we're going to need to go 0.246 of an hour. And if we multiply that by 60 minutes, we can see that it's 14.8 minutes. And I said 15, so pretty close either way.
Rate 23 November, roger, on departure, maintain VFR auto below 2000.
Alright, so 10 after, we'll maintain this 270 heading. And by the way, I'm not using the autopilot in this aircraft. It trims out pretty stably. I do have to hold just a tiny, tiny bit of right aileron. It's just like I brush it with my finger to put in just a tiny little bit of right aileron to keep the wings level. And that's probably because the weight of the pilot is in this seat and there's nobody in the right seat to balance it out. So the plane does have a tiny little bit of left tendency. I could probably, I don't know if it's got an aileron or a rudder trim control, or if I've got that mapped even to a control in the cockpit or not. But just a tiny little brush of the yoke with my finger tends to keep it nice and level, so I don't worry about it. But we'll just keep 270. Of course, we got to periodically check and make sure that our magnetic compass is in sync with our directional gyro. This directional gyro does very, very gradually process out of sync with the magnetic compass. So we do occasionally have to compare and make sure that they're pointed in a manner that gives the same information. Don't believe there's rudder trim, says Eisenberg? Yeah, I wasn't sure. But it's pretty close to trim. I mean, you know, if I wanted to stick like one of my big suitcases over here, you know, maybe that'd be a way to trim it out a little bit. But it's not bad. Like I said, I'm just barely resting my finger on the bottom side of the left edge of that yoke, and it's working out just fine.
Empire 4 8,000, climbing 4000.
Empire 401 Boston Center, climb maintain flight level 200.
So we can see the landmass that we've left here off of our right-hand side.
Has the harbor in sight.
R223 Charlie Alpha, cleared harbor visual, runway 29er approach, report 5 DME.
That these, I guess? I think that's these. Nice little line of islands that we've left off of our right wing. Better watch cloud bases up here. If I reduce altitude to pass by Block Island, that's fine. We would, and this is 2,000, so if I'm at 25, I could pass over East Hampton without having to worry about being in that delta, so. Yeah, we are running live weather, Heisenberg. Starting to see maybe Block Island up ahead here.
401, we're having a bit of an issue with our autopilot altitude setting here. Would it be possible to make our final altitude 16,000?
Empire 41, sure. Climb maintain 16,000. The Cape altimeter 2988.
We'll climb maintain 16,000, and that was at 2988 on the altimeter for Empire 41.
So looking pretty good in terms of, you know, maybe being 10 minutes out from that, and about a 270 heading.
Delta 1997, contact Boston approach 133.0, good day.
133.0 for Delta 1997,
Stay to the left of these cloud bases. So the VFR minimums are what, 3 and 152. 3 is 3 miles visibility. We certainly have that if we're, you know, we're 25 miles away from that island and we can see it. We got plenty of visibility. 152 represents how far you need to be from clouds. 1,000 feet above any clouds. We're not below. We've got no clouds below us, so we're fine. We're going to be at least 500 feet below any clouds. I think we're good there. These appear to be higher level clouds, and then we need to be. The 2 is 2,000 feet laterally, i.e., a third of a mile laterally from any clouds. So the length of a short runway between us and any clouds laterally. So I think we're okay here. I think we're VFR legal. We're not always VFR legal on this stream when we fly VFR. VFR flying tends to turn into a game of cloud dodging. I don't care for, which is why I often file and fly IFR even when I'm general aviation here in the sim. That way I can just point the plane where I need to go, follow the route that I filed, and not worry about one of those clouds.
23 November, holding short 23 at Alpha.
But it looks like we're okay here. As long as we're, like I said, at least one smallish runway length away from these clouds, 2,000 feet. Third of a statute mile, basically. Third of a, it wouldn't be a third of a statute mile, it'd be a third of a nautical mile. Statute mile is 5,200 feet, almost 5,300 feet, round figures. Nautical mile is pretty close to 6,000. Yeah, 6,000 round figures. It's really, what is it, closer to 6,100 feet, maybe, but 6,000 round figures to 2,000 is a third of a statute mile. Will I be getting the Aerostar try at some point? Probably not. I already have a fast piston in my hangar, which is this one. I already, feel like I am fairly well versed in it. I know that it being a twin is a little faster. I also think it's got GPS. Does it have a pure slant alpha cockpit? Does it have it on GPS cockpit? I think that it does. I think that I heard that it does. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with this one. So I will probably stick with this as my fast piston. To those of you new to the stream, I don't typically fly a very wide variety of aircraft. These are the main 4 that I fly right now. Are the DC-6, the BAE 146, and the 737, 700 variant. So I've got one single engine piston, which is a fairly fast one, one vintage prop liner, one semi-vintage regional liner, and then I've got the one modern airliner.
317 Boston Center, high maintain level 270.
270, 317.
Have I tried the Black Square Dukes? I have not. Commanding now the Duke is think there's a remind me, there's a naturally aspirated Duke and a turbine Duke, right? I'm not a big turboprop guy. But I've heard good things about that. I've heard good things about that. Got the ferry co-pilots are looking for their, I won't say the word, they're looking for their DINNERE. And I have to see if Mrs. Slant is in a position to take care of that for them, or indisposed, or what's going on over there. You're around here somewhere.
And Boston Center, X-Cub, November 965, Papa Tango. Are you handling Martha's Vineyard?
Towers coordinating with controllers again.
Alright, so we've wandered off of our...
November 965, Papa Tango. I'm at Martha's Vineyard. Are you controlling that this evening?
No, Eisenberg says it's hard to fly the Comanche in high elevations. That's why I'm considering the airstrip. Yeah, that's fair enough.
23 November at 4,500 with
getting bumped around just a little bit here now, too.
With the transient ramp.
Hang on, guys. I'm very sorry about the commotion here. Let me see if I can get on top of that.
For flight following squawk 7016 and runway 24 taxi by Alpha.
7016 and taxi via Alpha 245 Papa Tango.
Boston Center, good afternoon. Finland 261 1 card 9000 on the 29084.
Number 2618 Lima, Boston Center, altimeter 2985.
Back with you. We'll see if we can get those guys settled down.
Number 419 Mike Whiskey, did you want to verify, did you have a destination or no?
I was going to go to 2-3 November. It's in New York, right near right near JFK, actually.
Oh, don't worry. Everybody's been going there. I know exactly where it's at.
Yeah.
See you. Closer to Islip, actually, than Kennedy.
This is Jet 3 Charlie Alpha, taxi ramp via Alpha.
I'm going to go ahead and switch over to monitor 25.7. I don't think
American 2603, connect New York Center, 125.32. Good day. American 2603, heavy clear direct correction, contact New York Center, 125.32. Good day.
125.32, good day, American 2603 heavy.
And what's the CTAF?
Singapore 23 Echo, New
I
York.
think it's 23.7. 22.7. 22.7 is the CTAF at Bayport, so we'll be ready to monitor that when we get in. Monitor and actually transmit on that when we get a little closer. 22.7.
Cessna 816, you can climb and maintain VFR at or below 1,400 at this time.
That's going to be our friend Melvin.
You said you were interested in doing the exclusion, correct?
Although Melvin's not answering.
A16 affirmative, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, change with...
Oh, he did answer. We just were too far away to hear him.
American 2459, turn left heading 090 to set to maintain 7,000.
Left heading 090 down to 7,000.
Yeah, Comanche says those are so detailed. Many people say they are on the same level as the Comanche. Yes, I've heard absolutely nothing but great things about the Black Square. Matter of fact, our very good friend Melvin Leroy, who we were just speaking of, he's streaming now. Twitch.tv/Melvin Leroy. He's also flying into this event. Sounded like he is about to do the either the Skyline route or the SFRA there near Manhattan, ''which we're going to be doing later on the stream tonight. but he's a big fan of those black square products.
Procedure, you fly a heading off of 22 right, just fly on that heading and you'll set radar vectors to merit. So just, it's more or less a runway heading, but just follow the departure procedure off of 22 right. You're welcome. Thank you. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
Alright, so we're going to level the wings. Make sure we're flying exactly at 275 here.
New York Center, Diamond November 49 Mike Whiskey is with you just right after Sierra Echo Yankee at 4,500 VFR.
7419 Mike Whiskey, New York approach hello, Long Island altimeter 2985.
Alright, so we're not quite progressing. We said we'd be crossing here at 10 minutes after, so we're not quite progressing just as quickly as we said. Might have a little bit of a headwind, or maybe just the estimates were slightly off. Ian Fisher's here. Thank you very kindly for hitting us with that rate, Ian Fisher. We appreciate it. We're flying into Bayport Aerodrome, a little grass strip just south of Long Island, Islip MacArthur Airport. They're just east of Kennedy, a little grass strip, and it's part of the 6th anniversary celebration of the Virtual USA Flying Club. I was talking about that place earlier. It's a little grass strip that's so close to Long Island MacArthur that they have a special cutout in the Class Charlie airspace to allow them to operate there without being in contact with New York approach, because a lot of the aircraft that are based there are antique aircraft, don't have radios. They actually have an annual fly-in. It's called the, what is it called? AACGNY, the Antique Aircraft Club of Greater New York. And they have an annual fly-in there. Our very good friend JetPilotCinnamon is the one who founded this club and introduced us all to how cool a place Bayport Aerodrome is. Several of us have attended that real-world fly-in up at Bayport at least once. I have a video on my YouTube. I think it was 2 years ago that I went. The actual fly-in this year is today, coincides with the club's 6th anniversary event. JetPilotCinnamon didn't plan it that way, but because he often likes to attend those in person. But they were originally supposed to do that yesterday, and then they moved it to today. And so he was just like, oh, okay, oh well, here's what it is. Really neat place, though. Ian Fisher says, we just finished our regular Sunday night A2A Misfit Squadron flight and A2A Comanches. Yeah, and a lot of us flying in. There's about 35 of us or so flying into Bayport right now. I think we're spread over 6 hours, so it's not all 35 of us at this exact moment. But I saw in the club Discord that very, very many of us are in this very same Comanche. I called it, I don't know if this is inappropriate or not. I called it the tribe of Comanches are descending on Bayport. Alright, so now we're going to head straight to this point, right at Montauk Point, so another 14 miles. About 6 minutes. We can see that. Got a visual on that, so I don't need to do a whole lot of dead reckoning, just pilotage at this point. Right? The pilotage is flying by what you see out the window. Dead reckoning is flying by a stopwatch and a compass. VFR navigation really tends to be a combination of the two. You know, we can see what we're pointing at, but we can also kind of verify, well, hey, it's about a 260. And, yep, that's what it says on the chart, 263 for 14 miles, and it should take us about 6 minutes to get there. So, yeah, we're kind of using the dead reckoning to corroborate the pilotage, essentially. Start to raid and run in, no problem, man. We understand, you know, when you're done a long stream and you're ready to close up shop and move on to your next thing, it's all good, man. Got to work in the morning, so need to get to bed. Fair enough, man. Appreciate the support, and good to see you.
2459, speed 250 and slow advise. I'll slow you down in enough time. Just want to do this for spacing.
No problem. 250, American 2459.
your departure, November 820.
Alright, the other thing we can do, you know, we had kind of said that we were going to use a 225 off of Calverton as a guide to find this spot here. 225 and 19 miles put us right at the turn-in point for the correct marina. But when you get into this area, it can be real hard to pick out exactly which marina, exactly which little divot in the shoreline you should be aiming for. So in order to help us find the right one, I'm going to tune in that Calverton VOR, and we know it's going to be about a 2... What do we say, a 225 and 19 miles?
16, turn right, heading 310.
If we plot that, CCC 225 and 019, yeah, that's going to be exactly a beam our turn-in point. So we'll plan to tune that in.
Super near departure, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
I guess I need the frequency. That'd be helpful. 1455 there. So 1455. We'll swap it in. Get the distance turned on. Yeah, we're not yet receiving it. That's fine. Don't need it just yet. And we'll be outbound from it at a 225, we said.
American 2459, just try to maintain 2000, then reduce speed to 180.
That'll be that.
Down to 2000, then speed 180, American 2459.
We said that we needed to be on about a 260. But I mean, you know, like I said, we're...
Yeah, 260
would be 10 degrees left of that W, not 10 degrees right of it.
180, sorry about that, yeah, 2016.
So yeah, we are pretty good, but we're visually, obviously, we can see that we're heading exactly where we want to be.
American 24,
all good.
Turn left, heading 300.
As we like to say.
American 2459.
Do I always spell it wrong? I think I do. I just need to put it in both spellings.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
Always a good thing.
Number 0 Foxtrot Whiskey, approved as requested. Number 0 Foxtrot Whiskey, after your run-up, you can continue to taxi via Bravo cross from lane 14 at Bravo. If anything changes, I'll let you know.
Alright, that's the Bravo, with the Bravo up to 14, crossing 14 for Foxtrot Whiskey.
So at Gabreski, we need to be at 2,700 or higher in order to not infringe on their delta. At East Hampton, we could be 2,100 or higher. I'm only pointing this out because it does look like we've got some scattered lower cloud cover through this area. And I'm going to try and maintain 3 so I can be above these deltas. But get to the point where we think we might need to duck down. We'll either need to come back up to 27 to get over the Gabreski Delta, or we can just navigate out further from it. We can use like a DME arc to put ourselves far enough out from it that we're not going to be a problem. With a single engine piston though, you kind of like to stay near land as much as you can. The other thing we can do is you can get in touch with the controller and get permission to transit the Delta. All you got to do is establish 2-way communications and advise your intentions, and that should be all they need. But maybe we'll consider that if we got to drop down below the cloud cover here.
American 2459 heading 250 to 722 left localizer.
Yeah, I'm going to drop down to 25. But when we get to this Francis Gabreski Delta, we'll just need to get permission to transit that Delta.
Yeah, 2816, trying to maintain 3000.
3000, yeah, 2016.
American 2459, 4 from Alpha, maintain 2000 till established, localizer cleared altitude to left approach.
2000 till established, cleared island approach, runway 22 left, American 2459.
And Southampton VOR, I mean, pretty much when we're not going to go to the Southampton VOR, but pretty much when we're on a
Westwood 20 Super Connect Boston Center 133.45. Wonderful.
10 mile, when we're 10 miles past it, that's when we need to be sure that we are already in touch with the person handling that Gabreski Delta.
Okay, 2016 heading 280, please.
That'd be 13.6.
American 2459, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 22 left, American 24.
Okay, and we are receiving that, counting down 22 miles.
Approach Empire 401, 12000 direct, Calverton.
Matter of fact, when we're 10 miles north and east of it is when we're passing over East Hampton, so if we want to go 2,000 or below, yeah, we might need to talk to this guy now.
Yeah, 2016, turn 10 degrees to the right, descend and maintain 2000.
10 degrees to the right, and 2000, you said, 39, 2016?
Yes, please, 2000.
Yeah, we need to talk to him. We need to talk to him because we're going to need to transit through that delta at 1500 because 2000 is not going to be below cloud cover.
401, New York approach, information X-rays current, altimeter is 2984, expect ILS runway 22 left approach.
2984, we'll expect ILS 22 left approach, Empire 401.
Kennedy approach, Comanche 514 Delta Victor VFR request.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, New York, go ahead.
Yeah, we're 19 east of Hampton VOR, 2,300 descending for some clouds. We need to transit the Hampton Delta east to west at maybe 1,500.
514 Delta Victor. Number 514 Delta Victor, transition approved, and the altimeter is 2986 at East Hampton.
Okay, 2986, transition approved, 514 Delta Victor, thanks. '86.
Empire 401, descend and maintain 9,000.
9000, Empire 401.
So again, you know, would have liked to have just passed over that delta, but if we're going to go through it, really the only requirement is two-way communication. And as long as we've established two-way communication, we've told them where we are, how high we are, and what we want to do.
November 120,
and they said, yep, that's cool. That's pretty much it. That's all we need. He didn't have to assign us a squawk. He didn't have to radar identify us. This is all Class Delta services is all visual, so they're like, yep, okay. We'll look out for you. Thanks for letting us know.
To the east of Bayport. We want a full stop.
If there's other traffic in the area, they would say, hey, there's other traffic that's reported on a blank, you know, direction from the airport at such and such altitude. Look out for them. But seeing and avoiding is our responsibility. So they may not even have radar services at a Class Delta tower. Probably don't. Alright, we're at 1500. We still have visual contact with the ground, so even though we're kind of through a little bit of mist here, if you can see through it, it's not a cloud, I heard someone say. So 22 and 22. Back to 14 gallons an hour on the mix. Make sure we're trimmed out to stay at 1500. Just follow the shoreline. We've gotten approval to go through the Hampton Delta.
I'm sorry, who was that? Oh, Qatari 61 Quebec.
When we cross over the VOR, we'll be outside of the Delta. Then we can request transit of the Gabreski Delta.
Empire 401, heavy descent to maintain 7,000.
Down to 7,000, Empire 401, thanks.
Number 120 Echo Foxtrot, radar contact 10 south of Calverton 1,400. Proceed as requested. Islip altimeter 2985.
Proceed as requested. 0 Echo Foxtrot. Can you give me that pressure one more time?
Islip altimeter 2985.
Roger 2985.
American 2459, turn right at Juliet. Hold short of 2 to right at Juliet. United
All
28,
right, so
16,
we're
22 left, clear to land.
11 miles north and east of the VOR.
Empire 401, flight heading 270 back to the final.
Should be about maybe 5 or 6 miles east of the airport. Right on the, oh, that's probably it right there. Oh, see the flashing lights right there. Yep, there's the airport. So again, probably pretty good that we're talking to this tower, or the person, you know, covering the duties of this tower. Because if there was traffic in the pattern here, we'd be kind of conflicting with them, and we would want to have been in contact with the tower and get some kind of a sequencing instruction to make sure we're not going to hit anybody in the pattern here. So obviously on VATSIM, less traffic, less general aviation traffic than you would have in the real world, but procedure-wise, it's all the same. You do need to be in touch with the tower controller, or in this case, the approach controller who is covering the duties of the tower controller there. Again, if I had been able to do this at 2100 or higher, I wouldn't have had to talk to anybody, because we would not have been in the delta. We would have been above the delta.
Mag 2459, cross runway 22 right at Juliet, and contact ground.
Oh, Heisenberg says, I'm following you on Volanta. I have a 3-month subscription that I want. I'm really liking it. Yeah, I've heard good things about Volanta, too.
Qatari 61 Quebec, heavy, radar contact, climb and maintain 1.
I'm semi-monitoring my progress on VATSIM radar, although I'm trying not to look at it too much because I don't want to be looking at real-time resources, you know, that tell me more about situational awareness than I would have in the cockpit here. But I'm kind of keeping half an eye on it. Andrew Friable Logic is here. One of the other ones on the way into Bayport Aerodrome.
Number 0 Fox Whiskey, runway 19 cleared for the option.
19 cleared for the option, Number Fox Whiskey.
Okay, yeah, there's the airport. That's the East Hampton Airport. So again, in terms of charting our position, if we were to just
Quebec, turn left, heading
put a blank.
That's 060 for 30.
Empire 401, turn right, heading 320, descend and maintain 5,000.
That's what we know, that we're right there right now. So we got 39 miles left to our destination. Oops.
New York, good afternoon, Comanche 8.
Oh, Andrew says, I already landed. I'm going to give the pattern one more go. Well, just be careful to remember that there's not really a pattern per se there. You've got that approach, that right downwind approach to 18 that goes over the river and the lakes, and then the departures go straight out to the bay. There's not really anything in terms of a permitted closed traffic pattern there. You can't just do circuits there, because it's such a tight little airspace. They don't really permit that. So if you want to depart out and go all the way out to the bay and then come back in over the marina. Yeah, okay, so that's what you meant. Gotcha. Gotcha, yeah. As long as you do that instead of just a closed, like a traditional closed circuit, then you're fine.
Number 0 Fox Whiskey, long lane,
Just,
runway 19
there's a handful of us that are on our way in, so try to share the airspace, you know, that's all. I'm still a ways out yet. I'm still about 30 miles out yet. Okay, so still 3 miles east of the VOR. So we're still in the East Hampton Delta. Once I get out over the town of Southampton, then we'll pester the controller for transition through the Gabreski Delta here. So this is the bay right before the town of Southampton, maybe. And And then this is the big bay after the town of Southampton. So this is
2816. Continue on, Juliet.
Southampton proper right here below us, I would say.
Contact ground 121.9. Have a wonderful day. You're welcome. Take care. Empire 401, just try to maintain 2000. Fly heading 280.
2,280, Empire 401.
Okay, so a distance to the VOR 1.5 is now maybe increasing. Yeah, so now we gotta go ahead and request.
Zero Fox Whiskey, make the left on Bravo taxi to Atlantic. Remain as frequency. Have a nice day.
Left on Bravo,
Transit of the
and approach Empire 401. Is it possible for you to slow down?
Gabreski Delta.
Empire 401, I'm sorry. I don't know if I gave you a speed restriction, so speed is at your discretion.
No, left controller said 250 knots, so I didn't know if I had to keep that or not, but yeah, I think so. I'll slow it down here for Empire 401.
Yep, that's perfect. Thank you. Speed is your discretion.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Approach Comanche 514 Delta Victor was about 10 miles east of Gabreski, looking for transit through the Delta east to west at 1,500.
Then 514 Delta Victor, transition east to west is approved. And do you want to speak to the radar controller and get flight following? This way you don't have to keep on coordinating that. We can do that behind the scenes.
Well, this will be the last one I need, and then we'll be out of your hair, so.
Number 514 Delta Victor, transition approved.
Thanks. 514 Delta Victor, we appreciate it.
Last aircraft caller, who was that? JetPilot 284, New York departure, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
Yep, so we got East Hampton, we got Gabreski, and then we're just going to pop right in here, so.
Number 120 Echo Fox, ready to service turning squawk VFR, change to advisory frequency approved, use caution, multiple targets in the vicinity of Bayport.
Roger, 0 Echo Fox.
Alright, so 22.7, we're ready to monitor that as soon as I'm...
right, line up and wait.
As soon as I'm at that point...
Empire 401 heading 250, intercept 22 left localizer.
Left 250, intercept 22 left localizer, Empire 401.
Number 419 Mike Whiskey, ready to service training squawk VFR, change to advisory frequency approved, use caution, multiple targets
in the vicinity of Bayport Airport. Am I looking at the Hampton VOR? 13.6, yeah.
Thanks for ATC. Mike Whiskey.
Whoops.
Empire 401, 3 from Zalpa, maintain 2,000 till
so as soon as I'm 19 miles south of Hampton, then I'm clear of that Delta. I'm going to get back on track here. But let me get the plane pointed back to where I need it, and then I'll summarize what I was just saying, because I didn't say it very eloquently.
JetPilot 284, New York departure, ready to contact, maintain 2000, turn left heading 130.
So for right now, I'm tracking this VOR, the Hampton VOR, on 113.6. Once I get to a point where I'm 19 miles south and west of it, I'll know that I've passed outside of this Gabreski Delta. Right now, I'm 8 miles. I gotta know another 11 miles.
JetPilot 283, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff. Delta 1015.
And as I look to my right, I should see the Gabreski airfield. Right now, we're over top of this bridge.
JetPilot 284, direct waving.
Which bridge is it that we're over top of? Is it right here? But we're just entering the Gabreski Delta at this point.
New York approach, good afternoon. Comanche 585, Romeo Papa, 6,800, descending 1,500.
Comanche
There's,
Romeo Papa New York.
there's the airfield there.
2985.
2985, 5 room Papa.
JetPilot 284, contact New York Center 125.32.
125.32, have a good one, sir.
Take care. JetPilot 1015, or correction, Delta 1015, runway 22 right clear for takeoff.
22 right clear for takeoff, Delta 15.
Boeing 625 Hotel Romeo, New York departure low, caution weight 7, so departing 777, runway 22 right, line for wait. JetPilot 283, ready to contact, when able to say altitude, send climb and maintain 12,000. JetPilot 283, thanks. Turn left heading 100.
So as we pass Kabreski,
JetPilot 283,
and then we
maintain
kind of get into this. See that just past the airport, there's a wider, pointy portion of the bay, and that kind of defines the end of that Class Delta airspace.
When able to say altitude, radar contact.
So, past the field and this little point that runs up to the north and the east. That's kind of the 4-mile point there. Once we're clear of that, we'll go ahead and let him know that we're leaving the frequency. We'll switch over to the Common Traffic Advisory frequency. We'll switch over to the Calverton VOR.
Delta 15, climb and maintain 11,000.
I mean, alternately.
Boeing 625 Hotel Romeo, runway 22 right clear for takeoff.
We could just say
departing 777.
the point that we need to turn in is 36 miles after Hampton VOR, so we'll just leave the VOR tune that we have now. Once we get to that 36-mile point, we'll know that we should be right there. We also have to be slightly careful. If we're inside of the barrier island, we need to be below 1,500 feet. If we're outside, if we're south of that barrier island, we can be at whatever altitude we want there, but if we're north of that barrier island, we need to be no higher than 1,400 feet. 1,499 technically. But just to make sure we show up on the scope as 014 and not 015, I say, 1,400 max there.
Have a good day.
So I think we'll just plan on trimming it out at 1,400.
JetPilot 283, 125.32. Have a great day. Boeing 625 Hotel
Starting to get bounced around a little bit here now.
Maintain 11,000.
Islip's
1015 heavy, actually disregard, just fly heading 060 for now.
Islip's wind now reported.
And nearest approach, Gulfstream 9er Whiskey Foxtrot 714.
2008 gusting to 16, so going to be a little bouncy.
Gulfstream 159 Whiskey Foxtrot, New York approach, hello, Long Island altimeter 2985, and expect the visual approach for Bayport.
It's 2985 and expecting visual Bayport, 9er Whiskey Foxtrot, thanks.
New York approach, where's Echo Foxtrot? We're right near Bayport. We're having aircraft issues here. I'm going to try turning to the right, but I'm entering to the class Charlie for Islip.
Number 120 Echo Foxtrot, New York approach, understood. You need to enter into the Charlie, is that correct?
Issues, the yoke's not working.
Number 120 Echo Foxtrot, no worries. You can proceed as requested. Just remain south of the runway 24 extended center line. Long Island altimeter 2985 and suggest change to advisory frequency. It looks like you got traffic just in short final. Boeing Runway 5 Hotel Romeo, thanks for your patience. I needed to delay your turn just for some other traffic. Turn left heading 060 now and climb and maintain 17,000.
Okay.
Delta 1015, turn left heading 040.
Left 040, Delta 1015.
Trim it back to 1400 just to make sure that if we pop into that Charlie, we're going to be below the outer shelf. And then again, 36 miles.
Empire 401, continue on hotel, a little short of 22 right.
36 miles is where we
Empire 401, continue on hotel,
turn
a little
in.
short of 22 right at hotel. Number 5 Hotel Romeo, turn left heading 040.
And what do we say? 19 miles is where we're outside of that delta. And that's 19 miles, so we're 22, 23 miles.
Carrier only, and I've been letting it go only because I've been so busy, but I cannot hear your voice. Check a mute switch. Lots of times that's the issue, is that you don't realize that you've muted yourself.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry about that. Yes, I was muted, so I'm sorry about that. But 600.
Number 5 Hotel Romeo, no worries. I basically determined that that was your transmission back to me. I was too busy to try and troubleshoot, but excuse me, now that we have the time, I figured I'd let that in.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
No biggie deal. And number 5 Hotel Romeo, climb and maintain 17,000 for me, please.
Up to 17,000 and on the heading 040.
Thank you. Yeah, you're just a little south of where I'd want you to be, but I had to just work with some other traffic to provide separation here. So you're all good. Just added about 15 miles to your entire flight.
That's all good. We all good here.
And approach 4 Delta Victors west of the Kabreski Delta, request frequency change.
Number 4 Delta Victor, clear the Delta, frequency change your discretion.
5 4 Delta Victor, see it. Okay, so now we are monitoring, we're monitoring guard on COM 2, we're monitoring the Bayport CTAF on 122.7 on COM 1, which we're going to be transmitting and receiving on here momentarily. Looks like we do have some traffic up ahead to our right. We're 1,300 feet, so we are able to come in over this bay at 1,400 or less, and then we are over the shoreline at 600 or less. We're going to turn in when we get to 36 miles. So another 10 miles. That's going to be a dicey one, guys. You can see how much we're getting bounced around here. Kind of faintly hear some of the traffic calls. Don't worry about that. When we get closer, we will hear those a little bit better. You can see in the distance, we can see the runway lights at Islip Airport, KISP. And the fact that we are so proximate to that airport is why we have this very specific approach procedure. You'll see that we're going to pass over a specific marina and follow a river that goes to a series of lakes, and then that'll be our right downwind. We're going to need to slow the aircraft down quite a bit. We got just about 7 more miles to go south along the shore here. And then a gentle descent from where we are down to about 600. Take a moment. I know we're getting bounced around, so this is not going to be terribly easy, but let's take a moment to try to steer a consistent heading on the mag compass. Looks like about a 255. And then we can spin the arrow and the heading bug to 18 to represent the runway heading that we're going to be using. .32 miles. 4 more miles. We do have some traffic up right ahead of us here. I'm going to go ahead and Start slowing down. Probably aim to just follow that traffic in. Traffic up here. This guy just coming over the outer shore. He's nice and low already. Square off the turn and follow him. We really don't want to be over the shoreline headed into the airport until the aircraft ahead calls on the right downwind. Mr. 26.2 is here. So we're going to call when we turn in from South Bay. We're going to call when we're over the shoreline, and we're going to call the right downwind. And then we're going to call clear the runway. We are at 150. We can put the gear down.
Cessna 2809 kilo over the shoreline for runway 18, Bayport.
Okay, that's probably the guy that just turned in ahead of us. Right there. $35. One more mile. Yeah, and then it's like right along in there. Eric Flight was right over the field. That last call wasn't Eric Flight. The Cessna wasn't Eric Flight. And I'm going to go ahead and get gear down. It should be to the right of this.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 2809 kilo, right down on runway 18, Bayport.
Yeah, 2809 kilo is not Eric Flight. But I know he was in the vicinity. Start spinning the props up. First knock the flaps in. This might be the river I'm looking for. Hold on. This might be it right here.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 2809 kilo, right space, final runway 18, Bayport.
Yeah, there's the lakes, I'm pretty sure. That 600 is what we want to keep. Let's just look out. Don't see any other traffic heading toward the marina right here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is our river right here, and then it kind of comes up to the right, and then here's the lakes. Looks like we do have traffic kind of coming at us. If they come straight out, they should pass to our right. I think this is Bayport High School right here. So this all is lining up okay. This is Browns River, and then it forks off to the right.
2809 kilo going around, looking far back out towards the side. Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor's over the shoreline, inbound 600 for 18 at Bayport. You guys can start putting your predictions into the chat as far as the vertical descent rate at the moment the wheels touch runway surface. No bot command necessary on the channel for that, just a number into the chat. Positive or negative, and we'll know that it means a descent rate, whether you put the minus sign or not. Closest predictor will get an automatic entry into our bi-monthly landing rate raffle. Okay, there's the school, and here's our runway. Okay, we're full flaps. I'm going to get it slowed down. Right up there, this is Sunrise Highway. Okay, departing traffic is passing to our right on the straight out, so they are good. Get the speed down. Props and mixture full. Gears down and green. Bayport traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor's right, downwind midfield, runway 18, Bayport. We're coming over the new housing development, but prior to the big warehouses there.
Bayport traffic plus the 09 kilo back over the shoreline, inbound runway 18, Bayport.
Okay. Oh, way overshot.
Bayport traffic, November 399 Victor Yankee, right, enter the shoreline for runway 18, Bayport.
Way overshot, but we can come back and get it.
Bayport traffic, that's 09 kilo, right downwind 18, Bayport.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that.
Bayport 09 kilo, right base, final runway 18, Bayport.
Bayport Comanche 514 Delta Victor, clear 18, Bayport.
Bayport traffic number 399 Victor Yankee, right downwind runway 18, Bayport.
And I turned off this way because this is where we parked when we did the fly-in. Not we. I parked in my car up here. Oh, I can get strobes landing. We never did get the fuel pump on. But yeah, this is where all the barbecues and stuff were happening. We're all up at the hangars up on this end.
Victor Yankee, runway 18 final, Bayport.
Yeah, I came 2 years ago. Oh, somebody did exactly what I did, which was turn it.
Traffic, Gulf 9 Whiskey Foxtrot, shoreline 18.
Did exactly my approach there. Yep, this is where they had the barbecues set up.
Clear 18, Bayport.
And a whole bunch of aircraft parked here to hang out and watch. Yeah, there's a video on my YouTube channel from about 2 years ago where I put together some of the highlights from that. And this was about where I was sitting.
Bayport traffic, number 399 Victor Yankee, clear to runway 18, Bayport.
Yeah, ELW, so it's the AACGNY, the Antique Aircraft Club of Greater New York. It's their annual fly-in. And there was a bunch of us from the club and from VATSIM at large that went up there a couple of years ago. 2 years ago, was it, JPC? And this is about where we were sitting. No, flaps in too. This is about where we were sitting, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, Bayport traffic. Gulf 9 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Sean's Mini was parked a little further up here.
Bayport.
There we go. There's the video. Is that the one from my channel? Yep, that's the one from my channel. Yeah, check that out. Check that out,
48
ELW.
Echo Foxtrot over the shoreline. Runway 18, Bayport.
Alright, well, while we're,
Bayport traffic, Gulf 9, Whiskey Foxtrot cleared 18.
a little proper plane spotting here. And we'll check at my numbers first here, and we'll see what happened in terms of my predictions, and then we'll look at your predictions. So my predictions were that we were going to end here at 553, and boy, we nailed that, didn't we? And we should have 244 pounds remaining. So 244. We got one in the right downwind now. 244 divided by 6. So that's 40 gallons. So, oops, divided by 2 is 20, divided by 20 is 2. So we should have 20 gallons per tank. Jump back in and see what we're reading here. Reading pretty close to that. 20 gallons. All right, so fuel and timing estimates worked out perfectly. Oh, somebody either went around or just departed.
Traffic, Comanche 8223 November, over the shoreline, inbound 18, Bayport.
Yeah, we're going to do one more flight. We're going to go up the Hudson River and end the night at Schenectady. Well, let's look at so we looked at my predictions, and my predictions worked out almost perfectly. Let's look at your predictions now. I hope you guys guessed low, because by the time we touched it down, it was 19. Probably...
Bayport traffic, Comanche 585, Romeo Papa.
Skim it just ever so slightly. Probably a lower number than I deserved based on that horrible overshoot, but once I got the overshoot corrected and back on center line, put it down nice and gently. So 19 was the number that registered. What did you guys put in as your guesses? We had 115, 188, 124, 49, 77, 72. So 49 from Heisenberg is going to be the winner, unless there was a lower one that I missed. If I missed a lower one, do let me know. But it does look like Heisenberg is going to be our winner for the first leg of tonight's stream.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 23 November, right downwind 18, Bayport.
8, 17. Is that 4 in a row for you in the Comanche? That is no kidding. Yeah, 48 Tango Echo, Tango X-Ray 07, and Kilo Delta Romeo Tango. So it was the last 3 on the last river run stream we did. And then we had a couple other winners there, but now, yeah, this is... We're picking up the win in the Heisenberg here at Bayport.
Bayport
Yeah.
traffic, Comanche 23 November, right base to final.
That's a heck of a streak. Somebody needs to unseat you here at Schenectady. We'll see how it goes. All right, friends, I'm going to take a little break out of the cockpit for some liquid recycling, and we'll be back with you for leg number 2. We're going to depart here. We're going to go underneath the Bravo at Kennedy Airport. We're going to turn north and go up the Hudson River and the New York Skyline route to end the night at Schenectady, and we'll be back with you in just a few. Yeah, oh yeah, we should run the other video. Yeah, we'll do that. Well, I kind of want to watch the arrivals and departures here at Bayport. So I think we'll let that play on the main screen here, but yeah, we'll relink. Just do it as a small window. All right, we'll try. There we go.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 8223 November, clear 18.
Alright, be back with you in just a few moments.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 585, Romeo Papa at the shoreline, proceeding inbound for right downwind, 18, Bayport. Bayport traffic, Comanche 585, Romeo Papa, right downwind, 18, Bayport.
Don't go above 700.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 585, Romeo Papa, turning right base, 18, Bayport.
Yeah. Surely so.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 585, Romeo Papa, short final, 18, full stop, Bayport.
Bayport traffic, 40 Comanche traffic, right, midfield downwind, runway 18, Bayport. Left. Okay.
Bayport traffic, Crocker 49 degree wind Tango, 600 feet over the shoreline for runway 18 Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 5, Romeo Papa, clear, 18, Bayport.
Hang on, I'll be right with you.
Bayport traffic, 40 Foxtrot, clear, runway 18, Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Diamond 409 Foxtrot Mike, taxi to runway 18 Bayport.
Bayport traffic, copy 287, turning downwind to runway 18 Bayport.
Do not cross Sunrise Highway.
Traffic doing the same return to Bayport. Bayport traffic bringing Tango. Going around Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Diamond 409 Foxtrot Mike, lining up runway 18 Bayport.
Much more gentle when there's a passenger.
Bayport traffic giving Tango turning down on runway 18 Bayport.
Bayport traffic, 423 Charter Lima, over the shoreline.
Bayport traffic, Diamond 409 Foxtrot Mike, clear 18 on the upwind, Bayport.
Traffic, bringing Tango short final 18 Bayport.
Bayport traffic, 423 Charlie Lima. Vacated the runway, taxi to parking.
And then the other one I heard was like, if it's leaking oil, that means it's had oil, so it's good.
You gotta worry when it stops.
Right. You're fine, you're fine. Cameo. Alright, very good, guys. Yeah, if you were paying very, very close attention, you will notice it was kind of an interesting day there. Well, it was an interesting day there for so many reasons. But traffic-wise, it was an interesting day because they started using 1-8, so we were making that same kind of U-turn from the lakes over, grazing the southern side of Sunrise Highway to come in on 1-8. But then toward the end of the day, we were actually departing, they. Again, I was in my car. But they were departing on runway 36. And where I've parked in the sim is up here on the northeastern side of the field, and that is indeed where the vantage point of pretty much all that video was. If you look down to the left, you saw the windsock, and then you saw the other big hangars. The hangar that was shown toward the beginning with the old Warbird in it was not actually that hangar there to our left, but it was this hangar up here to our right. So it doesn't look in the sim exactly the way it looks in the real world. But it was the one you saw with the Warbird in there, and then they were kind of sitting on folding chairs and doing a barbecue and stuff. That was all actually this hangar right here. Where that took place. And then all throughout these hangars here, they had they had a pancake breakfast, and then they had barbecue, hot dogs, and burgers later on, and then all kinds of static displays up through here. And then this was the little parking lot right there at the airport, and then out here on the street was where I was parked. So there you go. Pretty faithful rendition for the most part of this airport. So there you go. We'll zoom back into the aircraft, pop back in, and we will get ready to depart out. And again, when we're in 1-8 configuration, it's a straight out departure all the way out to the shoreline. You don't go over 600. Again, the cutout goes to 700 up. So they say don't go above 700. Well, don't go at 700, right? According to what's on the chart. So again, you're technically legal up to an altitude of 699, but for purposes of showing up on the scope as a 006 or lower, I say if the chart says the cutout starts at 700, well then we want to be at 600 or lower. If we cross the inner shoreline and then we'll cross the outer shoreline. We'll be able to go up to 1,400. I mean, across the inner shoreline, you can go up to 1,400, and then cross the outer shoreline, we can go as high as we want. Now, we're going to stay pretty low because our second leg here is going to take us from 23 November to KSCH, Schenectady County Airport. And we're going to go down to the south and west. We're going to go underneath the Bravo, and then we're going to pick up the Hudson River northbound. Does look like we've got some thunderstorms rolling through here, so don't know how well this is going to work and whether that weather will be accurately reflected in the sim or not. And if we have to abort this mission and we have to end up flying west of the Bravo and then north up to Schenectady, we will do that. We will see what we see when we get there. Obviously, we're going to make a poor aeronautical decision in terms of not waiting until these storms pass. However, we will try to make good aeronautical decisions once we are airborne in terms of avoiding weather or switching to an IFR clearance or whatever we have to do to stay safe once we decide we are up there. We'll intentionally push the boundaries to enter this weather, but we'll try to behave appropriately once we are in it. So for starters, let me get a flight plan filed on the network for leg number 2 here. Do we want to load this flight plan? No, we want to just put in a whole new one. We're going to be November 514 Delta Victor. We're VFR for now. Going to be a PA24. Weight category is light. We're just SDF with an L transponder. Departing 23 November. Off block time is 22:30. 15 minutes from now, yeah, we can do that. We can probably beat that. 2,500, 150 knots. Arrival is KSCH. No alternate listed. Hour 22. Airborne. Fuel endurance is...
And Bayport traffic. F-Cub 5 Papa Tango. Downwind 18. Bayport.
Exactly what we said it would be, which means it's going to be 0254. I'm going to put in Skyline northbound. We'll just say VFR Skyline northbound. Performance is Alpha.
Bayport traffic. X-Cub 5 Papa Tango. Turning base and final. 18. Bayport.
And then there we go. Lauren says they were talking earlier about N90 going ATC 0 at 22 Zulu, but there are some masochists that are still there trying to deal with it. Well, good for them. We appreciate it. Got a lot of GA traffic around for our event, and of course there's always a lot of traffic going into Boston. Of course, this is all Boston Center up here. No, this is New York. Nope, no, it's Boston Center there. But there's still an N90 working New York. So it seems like yeah, I mean, we'll talk to them 19.2. We'll see if they want to talk to us or not. Looks like they don't handle the Hudson River. Looks like they're going to handle everything west. But we'll monitor them at the very least.
Bayport traffic. X-Cub 5 Papa Tango. Clear the runway to parking.
19. And then let's refresh ourselves on the Skyline route. What are the altitudes? Let's take the weather layers off for now so I can actually read it. Northbound, contact Newark Tower prior to the bridge. Available altitudes between 13 and 2,000. So we'll expect 2,000. And we'll go with what they tell us. By the way, let's tune the Kennedy VOR 115.9. And we'll be able to tell when we're below. So when we're within an 8-mile ring, yeah, we got to be at, we'll stay at that 1400. It will be 1400. It'll keep us below the outer shelf of the Charlie. It'll keep us below the outer shelf of the Bravo. But if we're within 8 miles, then we need to stay 500 feet or lower. Or we can just stay more than 8 miles out. We can kind of do a 9 DME arc and then come up that way. So, a couple of different options there. And we're single engine piston. You want to limit how far out over the open water you are. But we got a few options to consider. Alright, looks like we're pointed just a couple degrees left of due west. So we'll knock that down accordingly. 18 is our runway heading. And we can set flaps for departure. We'll set trim for departure. And this is a kind of a short field, so I'm going to do a full power with brakes on and then release, and then a soft field takeoff. We'll get airborne as soon as we can, but we'll stay in ground effect to build up speed, and then we'll clear the obstacles, but then we're going to make sure we stay 600 or below so we get straight out over the shoreline. Bayport traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, northeast hangars. We're taxiing for 18 VFR southbound departure at Bayport. Initially southbound, and then we'll turn out to the west, but southbound for all these people need to know about it. Oh, and once again, failed to lean the mix out until it drops. But we'll definitely want to do a kind of a full run up, and I can't see. I guess this, okay, this is with a white line where the runways begin, and the closest runway is coned off, so we'll use the further runway. But I'll turn here, and we'll do a run up just to make sure we've burned off any carbon deposits. Alright, I'm going to do the prop lever check with the mix still leaned out. That'll help us burn off some of that carbon. Set 2000 here. Prop lever. Okay, now we'll go full rich. Reset for 20. Carb heat. Alright, then let's see how bad these mags are. Only a 100 RPM drop there. About a 90 RPM drop there, so we're good. If we built up carbon on the plug tips, we burnt it off during our prop lever check, so we're good there. Go ahead and get strobe, landing lights, pitot, and fuel pump. Bayport traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor's departing runway 18 VFR straight out to the bay. Bayport. Didn't hear anybody making calls on the way in. Visually don't see anybody in the pattern. So we should be good. We are using the non-coned off portion of the grass runway. Get lined up. Hold the brakes here. Go ahead and set our takeoff power. And release. Airspeed is alive. Get off. We'll get it level. We're not having any trouble picking up speed, so we're okay. Now we'll go ahead and pitch up, get over the power lines. Gear can come up once we're sure we're not going to return to the runway. To make sure we don't get above 600 feet. Flaps in. Bayport traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, clear of the shoreline and leaving the area to the southwest over the bay. Bayport. Alright, so now we can take it up to 14. I think if we, yeah, all of Kennedy is, yeah, all of New York approach is off except for that sector that covers Newark. Kennedy VOR, 115 Niner. $33 miles from that. But they were on. Newark departure, Comanche 514 Delta Victor with a VFR question.
FedEx 21 Heavy, turn right heading 0. Turn right now heading 330. Turn right heading 330, FedEx 21 Heavy. Moved out to 413, you up?
Moved to 413, 13,000.
We get to 14, we'll trim it out.
Moved out to 413 Heavy, New York departure, radar contact, turn right.
Got the flaps up, we got the gear up.
030, right turn.
Right turn 030 from the
We got the
13.
United 330, turn left, direct Biggie, climb and maintain 17,000.
Power down, we get the fuel pump off.
Biggie, and climb maintain 17,000.
If I can get a word in edgewise, I'm just going to make sure.
1606 Heavy, call Boston Center 133.45.
133.45, that's speedbird 1606 Heavy.
Whether he handles anything with the Skyline route. Got the raid coming in. Sim Caesar hitting us with the raid. All right. Thank you so kindly, Sim Caesar.
21, what altitude are you climbing to? 250.
We've just left Bayport Aerodrome, which is a little grass strip just south and west, or actually due south of Islip, Long Island, Island MacArthur, Long Island. We're going to do the Skyline route northbound. We do have Kennedy approach, or I'm sorry, New York approach on that covers the area around Newark.
Heading 040, FedEx 21 Heavy.
But I don't know if they handle that that Hudson River, that SFRA or the Skyline route at all or not. We'll just check in with them if we can. But thank you so kindly for the raid. We got a minute raid a minute ago from Sim Caesar. We got the follow there from Kolak99. We got the resub from Scotty Too Hottie. Thank you so kindly for the continued support of the channel. We've been talking about the monthly raffles that we do on this channel, and it's your continued support that keep the money coming in to keep furnishing those prizes every month, so we do truly appreciate it. Who else stopped in? Peter Mooney is here, Monster SD, Ascendant Gravity, Maker's Dave, and PHT Halo saying hi to us. Thank you. Everybody stopping in to say hi to us. Okay, 2222, let's lean the mix out to 14.
Departure, radar contact, turn right, heading 310, climb and maintain 6,000.
And we've got the Kennedy VOR tuned in, 28 miles. If we're more than 8 away, we can be at 1400. If we're within 8, we need to be at 500 or below.
FedEx 21 Heavy, turn right heading 090.
Just got to see if this guy that we're listening to covers that skyline route or not.
330 New York Center is closed. Radar service terminated. Change to advisory approved. Good day.
What are you going to call? Thanks for the APC.
Ben, sorry, I'm not going to be able to deal with you, bud. Lay down. New York approach, Comanche 514 Delta Victor. Do you handle any portion of the skyline route?
Anyone calling for the skyline route? Negative. The only thing that's being covered is Newark Tower now on 118.183.
Okay.
FedEx 21 Heavy, climb and maintain 17,000.
Maintain 17,000. FedEx 21 Heavy.
Jumjet 304.
Yeah, 2340 New York runway 22 line up
18.3, okay. The Newark Tower is up, and they do cover this little portion, this first portion of the skyline route. As a matter of fact, let's go back to that. New York skyline. Let's read the instructions at the top.
Roger, everybody that's holding on the outside of the runway, it's going to be maybe around 2 to 3 minutes. You had 2019 contact departure 119.
And again, I'm going to make sure I'm at 1400 or below. 1400 or below, and then we're going to stay 9 or greater miles from the Kennedy VOR. Northbound should contact Newark Tower. Now that's a different frequency. Contact Tower on the frequency that they're on. 18.3. Prior to the bridge, and expect to fly along the east bank. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, no, I know that, Lauren, but they're not on right now.
2125, heavy welcome to New York, hold short runway 22 right of Victor.
I mean, the chart says to contact them on such and such frequency. Well, that doesn't help you if they're not on. Got to go by. The only frequency Newark Tower has is 18.3, so they would essentially handle that more or less like a top-down. Those two positions would merge up to the one tower frequency that's online. So, yeah, the chart says to contact them on that frequency, but we got to just go with what's actually staffed.
Number 2, American 1270.
Yeah, 2340, contact departure 119.2.
Over to departure 119.2, 2340.
Regard 3420, runway 22, right at Whiskey, please take off.
Alright, and again,
19 heavy Newark.
What the custom is for transits east to west is once you get to this portion of the Bravo, you would duck down onto the 8-mile ring. You would duck down under 500 or lower, and then you would go. I might just circumnavigate it a little wider, and that would allow me to stay at the 1400 as long as I don't penetrate this inner ring of 8 miles.
New York Tower, good evening. Spade 1 with you at the Tech Park. Requesting taxi 22 right.
Spade 1, Newark.
Well, we'll do it the way they normally do it.
Runway 22 right at Whiskey.
We'll just duck down below 500 by the time this counts down to 8.
Echo cross runway 29 Echo Echo.
Oh, you JPC with the 62-month resubscription as well. Thank you so kindly.
Standby. Breaker 3420 departure 119.2.
119.2, 34 plan.
Cross 29er via Echo Echo, hold short 22 left at Zulu.
Cover that, cross 22 left at Echo Echo, hold short Zulu 22 right, Echo, Spade 1.
Sorry, that's my apologies. Cross 29er at Echo Echo, hold short 22 left at Zulu.
Cover that 29er at Echo Echo, hold short.
What else we got? We got some bits coming in from Sim Caesar. You know what? We might indeed duck down to 500 feet. We might have to for visibility purposes. Let's go ahead and do that. So for the entire duration of us being within 8 miles of that VOR, we need to be 500 feet or below. We We got Sims just throwing us some bits. We got Monster SD throwing us some bits. We truly appreciate it, guys. Because we have this these monthly raffle drawings that we hold on the channel, and it's the subscriptions and the cheer bits and the gift subs and the donations. We truly appreciate all the financial support. By the way, if you want to support the channel but you're not able to do so financially, very best thing you can do to help us out is just pass the word around. If you enjoy the content on this channel, tell somebody that you might know who might be interested in somebody who does this kind of stuff. We do a mix. We do general aviation flying, we do vintage prop liner flying, we do vintage regional jet flying, we do a little bit of modern jet flying. Matter of fact, our next stream on Tuesday, we'll get back to our normal stream schedule, Tuesday nights and Friday nights, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern. We're going to be in the 737. We're going to do some Flying Wild Alaska Slant Lima style. We're going to challenge ourselves to some of the more interesting approaches that we got up in the Alaska area in the PMDG 737. So that'll be what we do for you on Tuesday's stream. But yeah, Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time is the typical show schedule. Full show schedule is under the About tab, or it's over on our Discord server as well. And not only will you know what days and times we'll be on for sure, because we do occasionally modify that normal schedule to accommodate stuff. Not only will you know what days and times for sure we'll be on, but you'll know what we are going to be planning to be up to on any of those given times and days. Alright, so we're going to trim it out. I'm going to try and just be at 400. I don't want to... Again, if the airspace... Well, this airspace starts at 500. Starts above 500. So if we're at 500, we're legal. So if we read 005 on the scope, we're reading legal. But I don't want to drift up to 501 and technically not be legal. We do need to stay past the shoreline, not over it. So I'll come a little bit to the left.
Grade 1 would activate cross runway 22 left via legal.
Grade 1 cross 22 left.
22 and 22. 14 gallons an hour. Coming out to 400.
Portugal 202 Alpha, runway 22 right, we'll see take off.
I'm just now getting to the point where we're getting right to this this little tip, Jones Beach here. This little jetty and pier here.
Red 20, correction 3528, here we go, runway 22 right at whiskey line 48.
Keep it back to a 400. Borderline VFR here. Back over to the shore. Again, gotta stay south of the shore. But if we stay south of the shore, and below 500, below 500, below 500.
Wind 2601, tweak up 20, runway 22 left for the left. For the left to 2 left at front center board. 1659, thanks, turn left heading 73190, climb maintain 3000.
190, 3000, 659.
Airport to go 202 Alpha on, 12 on depart, turn right heading 270 please.
Right 270.
Turn the yellow arrow so that it points me, so we know what direction we are from the Kennedy VOR. Below 500. We are within 8 miles of that VOR, so we are now at the portion where we need to stay below 500.
Yeah, 1659 departure 119.2.
What was that frequency again for 1659?
119.2.
19 frequency 9.
JetBilot 27, I'm assuming you're going around 2.
Yeah, 2 on the approach.
JetBilot 2074, roger. Climb, maintain 2000, maintain a crucial flight of landing. JetBilot 2074, no voice. I didn't need static.
Now, if we're going to do
Flight current heading
SFRA,
up to 2000, up to 2074.
JetBilot 2074, thanks. Climb, maintain 3000, flight
this
line
guy's
contact,
busy. What's the requirements for the SFRA?
Phone heading up to 3000,
altitude's going to be lower.
Departure, JetBilot 2064.
And we're going to be self-announcing.
Regret 3528, runway 22, right at with 2, quick takeoff. Speed 1, runway 22 right, full length line forward.
Speed 1, line up and wait, 22 right.
And a central aircraft, their tower will be closing in 5 minutes.
Alright, their tower's closing anyway. Looks like 1300 starts the Bravo. So if we... Yeah, airspace below 1300. So if we do it at 1000, then we need to just make our communications so we'll just do it at 1000.
Departure 119.2.
Departure on 119.2, Brickyard 3528, take care.
Yeah, Alaska 294, cross runway 22 right on Victor, contact ground point 8.
Vector ground point 8, 1134, good night.
Good night, Dream Jet 304, cross runway 22 right on Victor, correction, November, contact ground point 8.
Good right on Victor and ground point 82.
We come to 146, heavy you up.
Pull up, roll set, 22 right.
Alright, and then what frequency are we supposed to transmit on?
York Tower. United 1099, cross runway 22 right on access on Decker. 28.
That's a good question. Which frequency are we supposed to be transmitting on?
It comes at 146 heavy York Tower.
I'm a little bit high.
Newark Tower.
Comes at 146 heavy York Tower.
2000 on the left, to the left.
Yeah, 225.
I violated the Bravo. I accidentally climbed up into the Bravo for a little bit there.
Right, to the left, clear lane, United to the left.
Try to find the frequency that we should be on to make CTAF calls on the Skyline Report band. There's a bunch of different CTAFs listed on that chart. It doesn't really say which one is for the route.
Speed 1, runway 22, full
I would look at it in more detail right now, but I'm doing some very intense hand flying at low altitude and extremely turbulent air. Not able to help you right now, bud.
Singapore 21, Romeo Heavy, runway 20, right at Lucy, on a blade.
Line up light, Singapore 2 on runway.
Gilly, come on. Come on, babe. Why do we need to torture our brother right now? Alright, 7 miles from the VOR. Once we get to 8, we can put it back up to 1,000 feet.
109 or 2.
Singapore 21, Romeo Heavy, runway 22, ready whiskey, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, Singapore 21.
Yeah, it's rather sporting, JPC, very much so.
Roger, all aircraft, standby controller, change of progress.
Alright, so we're out from underneath the
York Tower, United 508 on the ILS, 22 left.
Bravo, but I don't feel comfortable turning north.
392, 1 mile, final runway 22, left, clear the left.
Clear that number 2, United 508.
Visibility has plummeted. So what's a good diversion plan here?
York Tower, speed with 5 Alpha, X-ray heavy with you, 180 knots, 22 left.
Number 21 Romeo, contact departure 119.2, get out.
19 to Singapore 21 Romeo, bye-bye.
Peter 5 Alpha X-ray, next tower number 2, following an 1819 on 3 mile final, wind 260, 1320, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Interphone and traffic, clear on 22 left, speed with 5 Alpha X-ray.
Yeah, the diversion plan is going to be head back the way we came. Trying to go up the river with no visibility, heavy traffic in Newark. It's not going to work out for us. So we'll get back on an eastbound course here. We're going to stay at 400 because we're going to pass underneath that Bravo again.
There, 3221, attack November, Alpha right, 22 right at November, contact, I'm flying down, south side, we'll see ya. Bruce 221, you can cross runway 22 right at November, contact ground plane 8 on the other side, we'll see you next time.
Okay, we're going to transfer back to the northeast. We're going to rejoin the shoreline. We got to fly by something we can navigate by. We're VFR. We're not able to pick up an IFR flight plan right now. But we need to maintain VFR. That means we need to find some landmarks we can navigate by. Head back to the northeast here. We're going to stay at 400 until we're past 8 miles.
90 heavy wind 260 once you get to 0, runway 22 to whiskey, zipper takeoff.
Runway 22 left, clear for takeoff, 90 heavy, thank you.
United 508, welcome to Newark, taxi Echo, hold short, runway 22 right at Echo.
Echo, hold short, 22 right at Echo, United 508.
Okay, back toward the shoreline, 400 or lower. We'll just take that back out north and east. So instead of going up to Schenectady, we're going to basically divert. We're going to divert north and east along the south shore of Long Island until we come across something that's got visual conditions. And that may mean we take another crack at Bayport. We could do that. Okay, we got to stay south of the shoreline here. Got to stay 400 or lower.
Heavy, do you want me to repeat cut through, or do you want to try to kick off some where you are?
It's fine.
Sorry, say again?
We're taking off Saturday night.
Alright, 400 or lower.
1420 near Terra, hello, runway 22.
Until we get to 8 miles.
Line of weight, take off by trigger.
Whew. Yeah, this is dicey. Now, I said before we took off, I said we got some storms moving through the Hudson River corridor, so we're gonna make a bad aeronautical decision-making call by even getting up into that. But once we get there, we're not going to push it. We're going to try and do it as legally as possible here. So we're VFR, we're below the Class Bravo airspace at Kennedy.
United 3855, sorry.
3.3 miles DME from...
If the company 73 off of the other taxiway could go in front of us. We just need a moment here.
Yeah, I can do that
we
for
got the
you.
point now where the shoreline juts out and the Bravo shelf juts out, so we're going to make sure we miss this off to the south tip. Make sure we stay at or below 500.
United 2270, correction rate 2267 right tower. Hello, runway 22 ready with you on Boy.
Alright, 22 ready with you on Boy, United 2227.
Yeah, 5 on XA on 5. Aircraft was calling, say again.
QB 5 off XA on 5. No, it's out of 411, passing South Sea.
Delta 411 neck tower, hello. Number 2 following a Boeing 737 on trip.
Alright, we'll take this. We'll stay at 400 until we get to 8 DME or higher, then we'll go back to 1400, and then we'll evaluate our options. If we're able to make it back into Bayport, we'll do that.
1428, contact departure 119.2.
If not, we'll find something. Public or Islip or something that's got visual conditions. Kabreski maybe as an option. Something up there will have visibility sufficient enough for us to get in. Oh, 500 or below.
5 Alpha X, actually correction, 1659, you're up. Okay, 1659, no tower.
1659 on the go around.
Man, I am white knuckled on this yoke right now.
1659, climb maintain 2000, fly runway heading.
2000 runway heading, 1659.
Okay, 1659, contact departure 119.2, we'll track it.
Departure 1659.
Alright, DME is 5.6 and increasing.
411 net tower. Delta 411, 126 here, 1320, runway 22 left, clear land.
Clear land, number 4.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's just plan to go back to Bayport. It looks like it's clearing up. We'll come back into Bayport. It's a fun procedure. We'll demonstrate it again. .6, 6.7. As we get past that, yeah, we'll pass the 8-point mile mark prior to getting to this beach monument.
Right out whiskey, line up and wait. 938, pull back down, 22 left, okay. Newark Tower number 2074, Island MacArthur, 119.2, we'll see ya.
Okay, so we're outside at 8 miles now. We can climb back up to 1400.
Disregard 38, back.
Never mind, disregard, jump to 2074, 126 air, 1 get to 0, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Clear to land to the left, jump to 2074.
Fever 5 Alpha X-ray heavy, say parking.
7 of 8, contact PTA.
Roger, Spear. 55 Alpha X-ray, taxi November Alpha to ramp cross runway.
Add just a touch of power. We'll get back up to 1400.
At November, traffic holding up field.
So crossing TCI Alpha November, and it's November Alpha to Alpha 425 Alpha.
Affirmative. Anyway, 3855 heavy traffic crossing downfield.
We got 24 and 24. 24 on the manifold, 2400 on the RPMs. Taking it back up to 1400. Just passed here. We'll say destination 23 November. If we were to go to the JFK VOR,
that's calling unreadable.
when is our turn-in point? 100, yeah, 099er and 34 miles.
United 55 heavy, 260, runway 23, repeat to takeoff.
Let's tune in a 099er.
American 37 Romeo, runway
And 34 miles, so we got 20 more miles to go. Looks like weather is clearing up as we go east, so that'll be fine. And again, 1400 is where we got to park it. So we'll bring it back to a 22 on the manifold.
W2074, welcome to New York State parking.
2200 on the RPMs.
Any open gate at all, 2074.
Alright, W2074. W2074, taxi Papa 2, Charlie, cross runway
Lead it out
Charlie,
to 14
to the ramp.
gallons an hour.
Papa 2, Charlie, to the ramp, W2074.
United 3855, heavy contact departure 119.2, we'll see ya. Departure, we'll see ya.
And then we'll trim it back down, just make sure we don't
Tower number 44.
Don't get up above 1400. Let's get back down to 14.
Number 4484, Tower, hello, 1260 at 1320, ATC left to the lamp.
And I'll tell you what, let's get it back to 22.7. Transmitting and receiving on COM 1. Monitoring guard on COM 2. And May. They encounter some other traffic there. Sounds like we got a couple making calls. Be mindful. Eyes open, ears open for other traffic at Bayport. We said that theoretical radial was 34 miles out is our turn-in point. So another 15 miles.
Center, Foxtrot Mike, going around runway 18 Bayport.
We gotta remember, we got the speed nice and dialed down. We're gonna make a super tight turn. I did not make nearly a tight enough turn going from that right downwind to that base and final. We're gonna make sure we don't overshoot that again this time. We're gonna make a much, much tighter turn. this is Robert Moses Causeway, and then the Cap-Tree Bridge here. Head on our left, we should see Extra State Park. Now remember, I'm at 1400 out here. Once we're into this area where the Charlie is, which is kind of marked by that causeway, I'm okay to be at any altitude on this side of the Fire Island. On this side, I'm good up to 14. Over the shoreline, I'm good up to 6. So even though I'm kind of drifting over the outer shore here, I'm still good 1,400 feet. 36, is that what I said? 34 DME. So 8 more miles. Again, we gotta start keeping our eyes open for any other traffic that might be setting up for an inbound run. Kind of like right along in here somewhere. I'm going to start backing the power down. I'm going to spin the props up a little faster, but we're going to back the power down. That'll help us get the speed under control. Put us in a descent. I don't want to put us in a descent. I want to keep the altitude but lose the speed. Along. Yep. Okay. There's the Browns River, so it's going to be right around in here. Oh, hush. And you're fine. Okay, so speed's coming off. 150 we can do gear if we need to. Gonna go 4 more miles and turn in. You know, but really, like, this little squiggly river comes out, and then the marina that we're aiming for, like that one right there. That's Bayport High School right there. Okay. So 150, you can go gear out. First notch of flaps in. Okay, we're at 1200. We're going to do a nice gentle descent down to 6. Right over top of this marina, and then where the river forks off to the right, comes over these lakes. That's our right downwind to 18. .27 is tuned. No other traffic observed. Nor heard. Second notch of flaps. Down to 600. And then we'll make our call.
Calverton traffic, Waco 731 November Echo is 10 miles to the east, inbound to land, runway 18, currently at 1,500, Bayport.
And Bayport traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is just about over the inner shoreline at 600. Going to enter the right downwind runway 18, Bayport.
Yeah, Bayport traffic, Waco 731 November Echo is 10 miles to the east. I think I messed up that call and called Calverton. This is for Bayport.
We forgive you.
Thanks a lot.
Now you guys can start putting some predictions into the chat as far as the vertical descent rate. At the moment the wheels touch the runway surface, no bot command necessary, just a number, positive or negative. We will know either way that you meet a descent rate, and the closest predictor gets an automatic entry into our bi-monthly landing rate raffle, which will pull toward the end of this month of August. No bot command, no minus sign necessary. We know that you mean the descent rate with or without that minus sign. Got the speed nice and backed down. I'm going to go ahead and get that final notch of flaps in. Touch of extra power. 5 to 600 on the downwind is fine. We just got to remember, nice tight turn, almost an air show turn. Okay, we're passing the school. We're atop the lakes. There's our field. Housing developments here, warehouses here. Sunrise Highway here. We're going to make our base turn prior to that, but as close to it as possible without crossing it. Bayport traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor's on the right downwind, runway 18, Bayport. Alright friends, get the predictions in. No bot command necessary, just a number into the chat, positive or negative. Minus sign optional. Gears down to green, flaps set and checked. Let's not stall. Let's not cross Sunrise Highway. Let's not hit a power line. We still overshot it, but not quite as badly as last time, but close.
Bayport traffic, Piper 2324 Kilo over the shoreline, runway 18, right downwind.
And Bayport traffic, Cessna 113 Papa Foxtrot 2 south of the Bayport Airport will be inbound for a right downwind, number 3 behind another aircraft just over the shoreline.
Yeah, that crosswind's no joke right now, guys.
Bayport traffic, Diamond 409, fresh up Mike over the shoreline, runway 18, Bayport. This will be a low approach.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, clear runway 18, Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Waco 731 November Echo is 5 miles to the east, along the shoreline coming in from the east, Bayport.
Strobe, landing light, pitot heat, never got the fuel pump on. And that crosswind was really messing with us that time. Oh, flaps can get stowed too.
2324 Kilo right midfield downwind, runway 18, Bayport.
Nothing I can do for you right now, Finn. You gotta bear with me.
Bayport traffic, Diamond Manor Foxtrot Mike is midfield right downwind runway 18 Bayport.
Yeah, it sounds like we got some traffic to watch here, guys.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 113 Papa Foxtrot is right downwind runway 18 Bayport.
Alright, we'll get 1,000. We'll get the mix leaned out to point where it drops. And then let's
Bayport
get
traffic,
positioned.
Wacko 731 November Echo is 4 miles east along the shoreline, Bayport.
Bayport traffic,
very nice.
Manor Foxtrot Mike turning final runway 18 Bayport, going to be a low approach.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 4277 Charlie is over the shoreline, inbound for runway 18 Bayport.
Get turned around. Watch kind of the last part of the pattern. Got one touching, yeah, one taxiing off, one touching down. Although I think he said it was a low approach, and then we got the one turning base to final now. Welcome back, we missed you. Yeah, very good, guys. Stanley 44 is here. Alright, well, real quick, we'll get the winner chosen. It'll be the person who chose closest to 71. So, Nath Dog 208 is going to be the winner. Nath Dog, you get an
Bayport traffic, Wacko 731 November Echo is 2 miles east of the marina, inbound for runway 18 Bayport.
Did I go out this year? No, Stanley. The fly-in is actually today.
Bayport traffic,
I would not have been able to make it even if the
runway
event had not been today. It was originally supposed to be yesterday. They changed it to today, so it wound up conflicting with our club event.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 4277 Charlie, midfield.
So that was an unhappy
runway
accident,
18
but I wouldn't have
Bayport.
been able to go anyway. I had family in town up until yesterday, so I wouldn't have wanted to bail on the last part of their vacation
Bayport traffic, Wacko 731
to
November
where I
Echo, turning
live
north at the
in order
marina,
to go up to
inbound,
New York. Would have been fair to them.
18, left downwind, Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 4277 Charlie, turning base, runway 18 Bayport.
All right. Yeah, so a little bit of an unhappy accident in terms of the scheduling there, Stanley, but it wouldn't have worked out for me anyway. I did have, so I was off the stream last week because I had family in town, because I live in a beach resort. Family vacation now means that my family comes down to visit us. They stay in town. We live, of course, right over the bridge. But my wife and I both took half days all week.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 11816 out at Fire Island, turning inbound to the shoreline.
So they were in town up until yesterday. So, yep. All right, I'm going to take a brief intermission out of the cockpit while you guys get to watch and listen to some of the goings on here, and then we'll come back for a little bit of a wrap up in just a few. I got to go see to the furry co-pilots, and then we'll be back to wrap up. Be right back in just a few.
Bayport traffic, Diamond Manor Foxtrot Mike, over the shoreline, runway 18 Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 4277 Charlie is clear, runway 18, taxi to parking.
Bayport traffic, Wacko is in the left downwind, 18 Bayport. Bayport traffic, short final, Waco, Bayport.
Bayport traffic, stop and identify shot Mike, downwind 18 Bayport. Bayport traffic, center, Foxtrot Mike is turning final, runway 18 Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Waco clear of runway 18, Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Diamond Niner, Foxtrot Mike clear of runway 18, taxi, debarking Bayport.
Bayport traffic, November 471 Papa Mike, entering left downwind 18, Bayport. Bayport traffic, November 471 Papa Mike, turning base final 18, Bayport.
Back with you briefly, and I apologize. I'm going to do a real quick wrap up, and I'm just kind of not feeling well. I'm still suffering under the effects of an illness that I picked up very end of last week with family vacation wrapping. So I'm going to close up shop. We'll be back with you on Tuesday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, doing the 737 up in Alaska, doing some of the more challenging approaches that Alaska Airlines flies in that 737. We're going to do ours in the PMTG 737-700 variant. So we'll see you Tuesday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We're going to keep the stream right here, watch a little bit more of the traffic in and out of Bayport, and then find somebody to raid who's going to do some more GA-type flying for you, possibly somebody else who might be streaming their flight into this event. So, yeah, Lauren, we'll see you Friday. Looking forward to Friday's event. Going to do pics for that one, right? Friday, the journey out of Detroit, Friday night ops. We're going to do our D6 there. Talk to you very good. We'll talk to you very, very soon on that, and then hopefully in the meantime as well. All right, friends. Well, thanks again for riding along, and we'll kind of take a little bit of a plane spotting opportunity here, and then we'll find out who we can raid after we've done a little bit of that. All right, friends, thank you very kindly for joining us on our Slant Alpha adventure to Bayport Aerodrome, the 6th anniversary of the Virtual USA Flying Club. And thanks for hanging out with us live from Studio 5 just outside of Ocean City, Maryland. We're going to sign off here and enjoy.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 11816 over the shoreline, turning inbound at the marina. Bayport.
It went good. How'd you guys go? I almost ground looped it on the landing. I got you.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 816 is turning base to final. Bayport.
Bayport traffic, Cessna 816 is clear of 18 Bayport.